Yes, there we have Billy Smith. He's been outstanding in the series. 2.57. Down the other end, Daniel Bouchard. There he is. 3.33. Dick, Bobby, and I were talking before the start of the telecast, the oddity that Smith and Bouchard each was born on December the 12th, 1950. Somebody says the biorhythms are good. Do you subscribe to that nonsense, the biorhythms?
Scoreless tie, is that what that means tonight?
No goals, and we're going over. Now the puck is cleared into Quebec territory. Weir is back there. It stopped. Gilly shoots it in. And the Islanders sending the defense of Morrow. And Johnson is out there. They fire it in. That was a weak shot from the point by Morrow. And the Islanders have made changes. Now Merrick is on there. Paymont going in. He knocked down that pass. But he couldn't pick it up and went all the way in there. Number 11s, Merrick and McRae, are battling for the puck, and they get a whistle.
Interesting that Basil McRae, who has seen very little of any action tonight, has been Michel Bergeron's choice to start at right wing. Bergeron's made some changes tonight. Gaston and Perriand and Pierre Lacroix, two young defensemen who were in the lineup 2 nights ago, are not. And Dale Hoganson is, and Mario Merwaz's back. Al Arbor has made one change. Mike McEwen is not in uniform. Thomas Johnson is. They say they want to get a bit more speed on the defense. Johnson, a speedier player.
Well, Bobby, you made it up, and you seem to be in pretty good condition. Any more final comments before we really get into the game? Well, you were coaching in Bergeron's place. You need a win. What would you do?
Well, you've got to have your players go in and forecheck and try not to get behind this Islander club. You can't play catch-up hockey against this kind of a club.
They're just too good. They're a fine hockey club. So what an exciting team the Nordiques have been this year. The way they have thrilled not only are the fans here in the province of Quebec, but all over the National Hockey League. Now, coming out on the right side, Aubry is coming down with McRae, and he lost it. Nystrom cleared it out. Came on, bringing it back in there. It's going to be good. McRae gets the goal.
Boy, I'll tell you, that was awfully close to being offside. Did you notice that, Bobby? The linesman waited for just a moment when came on, stopped the puck at the blue line.
Oh, that was so close. I was waiting for a whistle, Dick. But Paymont kept going, went to go around behind the net and threw it out to McRae, who backhanded it past net. That's the way the Nordiques had to get started, and keep this crowd behind them.
Well, it makes the coach look like a genius putting McRae out there starting the game.
Well, he tucked it into the lower corner on the backhand, so Basil McRae, as we mentioned, a bit of a surprise to start the hockey game. Surprises us with the opening goal at 1:10. Good play by Will Paymont on the setup, and Quebec quickly leads 1-0.
The announcement on the goal. Nordiques leading 1-0. They jam in on the boards in New York Islanders territory. And they get a stoppage-in play. Well, you know, the coach Bergeron said the crowd, when they're in their finest form here in the Colisée, they're like a seventh man for my team. They did have 7 men. What was it, a rover, Dick? You remember that.
Yeah, I remember covering a lot of those games. Bobby, I think, was the left winger in the...
That's when I was dropping the puck for Dick's dad, Daddy.
The Ottawa Silver 7. Now, it's Trottier. He fails to get out. You have some good forechecking here, Bobby, by the Nordiques. Now, finally, the Islanders get it in over the line. But Hunter peeled back and got in there and cleared it over to Goulet on the wing. And Goulet playing it into the center ice area. Cloutier had trouble picking it up, and Bossy rolled it back in. Now at the line, that one did come out, and it's called on the offside.
From the Coliseum in Quebec City, this is Stanley Cup 82.
And there are the two coaches with Arbor, who does it quite often, hitching up his trousers. The Let's do some hitching up right now because they are behind, but it's just 1-0. Now it's center, cleared away by Bouchard. At the line, whipped back in there by Lane. He checked. Oh, what a solid check on Anton Stastny by Potvin. He rocked him in the center ice area. Into the center ice zone again. Potvin over to center over on the side. Cornelli Good defensive play there by Pichette. Now it's Dusty Marion coming up with Peter and Anton over the line. Backhand shot. And Smith covers up.
Pretty good play that time by the Sasseys. That one looked like it might have sneaked through Billy Smith's leg. Did not. Then we get some pushing and shoving off to the edge of the Islander goal crease to our right. Dave Pichette, you found there just a moment ago, number 29. A good defensive play. Here's that play again now at the line. Oublie in on the play. Now watch where Paymont picks it up. Is it over? Ooh, yes. That is an offside play, Bobby.
I was waiting for the whistle. I thought that the puck did come out. Here's that play. Here's Paymont going behind the net just before he goes around, shovels it out to McRae from Beaverton, Quebec, and he finds a low hole.
Islanders didn't squawk. They didn't say a word. I watched for that. They didn't argue.
But I thought I noticed, it might have been my imagination, that some of the players eased up a bit. However, that is history. And on the board, it's 1-0 for Quebec in the first period. Big Pichette. He's being watched and driven back by a fellow who's on the go all the time, Goring. Now Sutter went after his man Rochefort. Here's Hickey coming up, and Gillies played it back into the center ice area. A long pass that turned out to be a giveaway, but one good turn deserves another, and they gave it back. Then the Islanders got it a third time, and they shot it into Quebec territory. 3 minutes and 20 seconds have gone by in the opening period. A lead pass to Cote. He gets it over to Hickey. Passes it over. It rolled agonizingly toward that goal post. There's a shot. Stopped on the short side. Aubry had the opportunity. Now to the far side. Laying over on that wing by Cote. Puck over the board.
And the fans enjoying the start by the home team. Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff games coming to you from the Colisée in Quebec City.
So the fans settled into their seats in a relaxed manner, I presume, after that close call down there to the right of Smith. There's Hoganson feeding it into the center ice area. Weir cutting it on that left side. Centers it. Smith playing it on the boards. Here's Weir again. Weir getting it back. Let's see if it goes to the corner from McRae to Paymont. No, the Islanders into the center ice area. Pass was too far for Tonelli. Janssen back in action for the Islanders. He has a hit pointer over in front of Guns. That was a glorious opportunity there for Merrick. If he had been able to reach that puck, he was all alone. Tonelli is upended by Hoganson. Aubry goes after Merrick. And the Nordiques are much more aggressive than they were in New York.
Well, gentlemen, for the record, Wayne Merrick and the Islanders have lost the last 2 games they played here. January 31st, 1981, it was 5-1. That was Dan Bouchard's first game here in Quebec since after the trade from Calgary. The only time they played here this past season, they were beaten by a score of 7-2. So they might think that Quebec City, Danny, is a nice place to visit, but they haven't enjoyed playing hockey here lately.
Well, Bobby, when you see a fellow like Aubry ladling out a pretty solid body check in there, you know that everybody is going to be hitting. They weren't hitting that way in New York.
Well, he's not the biggest guy on the Quebec team.
He ordinarily doesn't hit.
He's alive. That whole club is alive. And as we talked about this hometown crowd, in order for the Nordiques to take advantage of them, they had to count early and continue to press the Islanders.
So the Islanders now with everybody up. Trottier lost the draw. It's fed to center by Marois. Marois has been a very courageous man, playing so much hockey, playing with an enormous handicap now behind the net. Pearson gives it off. Langevin gets it out on the right side. Over on the left wing. Bourne takes the shot after taking the right pass. It's centered to the lip of the crease by Bossy. Rattled back into the corner. Bossy is shoved by Hunter. Now it's knocked down. There's a shot. And Bossier was set up beautifully off the arm of Bouchard. Here's Bossy shooting it. Bouchard did not know where the rebound went, but he kept it out. Good pressure here by the Islanders. Having lost the stick, Courageous Marwa dove in on the ice, and the players mill about in that corner area.
Dale Hunter taking a pretty good run at Mike Bossy as the whistle was being blown. Hunter almost kicked the puck into his own net, but a couple of giveaways there, Bobby, and a great stop, I thought, by Bouchard off Trottier when he got the blocker in front of that shot from the slot.
Well, they're trying to watch this line individually, and I don't think you can do that. You can't be chasing individuals all over in your own end. You've got to play a kind of a zone. And if your man goes to a different zone, you stay there and hope that your teammate will pick him up. Once you start running with Bossy and Trottier, they'll run you all over the place.
This is Hockey Night in Canada from the Colisée in Quebec City. Now there's Mario Marois as the result of all of that pushing and shoving in the Nordiques zone. Marois gets the penalty. 5:22.
Now Janssen over on the other side to Potvin in front. Janssen is going to keep it in. It went off Dupont's stick. Janssen over to Potvin. He's in his favorite position. Gets it into Sutter. A shot along the ice and blocked by Bouchard. Cleared down the ice. There's potency in this Islanders power play, Bobby.
There certainly is. But it looks like Bouchard is on his game tonight. If he is, he'll be tough.
Potvin is the key guy in the power play.
I would say so, and I've always said that puck coming out of the corners, those corner men are so very important, Danny, on a power play.
Now Gillies to Goring's pass into the air, backhand swipe by Sutter. Clear down the ice. That was Goulet who hopped on it and shot it down the ice. 1 minute and 13 seconds left in the Marois penalty. We're into the first period with 13:45 left. A lead pass to Bossy over on this side. Islanders Potvin forced back, doing excellent work. Great work by Potvin. Now Bossy firing it back. Goulet, he has excellent speed going after it. Pearson trying to cut him off. Here's Goulet. Pearson cut him off, then stayed with him. And Potvin leads the power play attack. Pearson, and it goes to Bourne over the line with Trottier. Rochefort golfed it down the ice. A very solid and effective stand on the power play by the Nordiques. They're not giving the Islanders too many good shots. Now the time left in the penalty, 20 seconds. Islanders again on that left wing. It's Trottier in over the line. He's working ready to go over, but they shoot. They score! Bossy, what a magnificent setup that was.
Brian Trottier working by Dave Bichette as he came in on the left side. Trottier to Bossy, the well-established firm back in business. Bobby, it's 1-1.
Let's watch this on the replay. Bichette, the cardinal sin. Watch how he looks at the puck on Trottier. See him go for the puck. He just slipped it by him, and there's Bossy coming in on the right side, and he doesn't waste any time. Here it is again. There's Trottier going past Bichette over to Bossy, and that Bossy releases that puck quicker than anyone in the league.
Cut that in on the play as
Well,
well.
there's the gentleman, number 22. You saw him for a fraction of a second on the bench there. 22, Bossy. Here's Weir, big Weir, up on the left side. Morrow and Weir into the boards. Weir went down. Paymont getting it in front. And McCray couldn't pick it up. The Islanders swing it down on the left side for Merrick. If Hoganson touches it, it'll be icing. Hoganson does.
So we have Bossy on the power play. The penalty to Marois just about over. Trottier and Potvin assisting. Bossy had 2 the other night on Thursday in New York. For Mike, that's his 9th goal of this playoff year.
Bobby, is it a Hunter covering on Trottier all the time?
This is what they're going to try. Understand that's what Coach Bergeron is going to try to get Hunter against Trottier all evening. Now, whether he can do it or not, it'll depend on how the game goes.
Looks like a penalty coming up here.
The penalty box for a 2-minute penalty, so it could be a bench minor. And that's sportsmanlike conduct. We'll have to wait for the announcement, but Denny Potvin's in the box, and now the Nordiques get their first chance at a power play. Sportsmanlike conduct of Denny Potvin. I guess we cannot repeat exactly the reason, Danny.
Electronically unprintable. That's what they use, I think. Now there's Trottier clearing it down the ice. Let us now pick up the alignment on the power play for the Nordiques. The Stastnys, Peter, Marion, and Anton. The forward on the point on the left side, Cloutier. Piché is on too. There's Peter Stastny getting it back. Here's Piché taking a look. Over to Marion Stastny. Piché to Stastny to the side of the net. Waiting for Peter Stastny.
Oh, they do that so well.
They talk about the Stastnys, Bobby, in a situation like that, but give young Dave Bichette a lot of credit because he was the guy who controls it at the right point.
Well, I hope you can see here, Dick. Peter Stastny was directing traffic just before this. He told Marion, throw it back to Bichette, back to Marion, into Peter, and they had that defenseman, or that forward. I guess it was the defenseman. Now let's see if it was the forward in there covering Peter Stastny or not, but he just moved out far enough to allow Peter to come out of the corner.
Interesting thing was Billy Smith was down on the ice before the play was made by Stastny. He had fallen already.
So the Nordiques are leading 2-1. Gillies clearing it in. Gillies trying to upset Rushmore. Puck into the center ice area. Here is Goring. Goring is upended by Rushmore. Forced back. Marion Stastny to Peter. Back to Marion. It just didn't click. We've had 2 power play goals, both of them Pickford goals. Beautifully executed. Now Stastny takes advantage of the board. And that was Lane. Marion Stastny has shot. Pressure here by the Stastnys. Into the center ice area it comes. And Marion got back and played it to Marois over on the other side to Dupont. Dupont coming down, quick to the head. Potvin goes back in there, cruising in as Cloutier and Anton Stastny. Good back checking there by number 9. That's Cloutier. In off the board. Hunter, he's tied up by Lane. Here come the Islanders. They hit the line, the pass. Caller lost it. It's picked up by Carroll. Good play in front of the net by Captain Dupont. He intercepted a pass that was intended for Brent Sutter, and he was in behind Dupont. Now in the center ice area, Dupont lobbed it into the corner area. Langevin is in there and forechecking is Hunter. On with him as Goulet and Cloutier. However, the Islanders into the center ice area. Sutter at the line, having difficulty. Caller helps him out. Over on this side, the Langevin was stopped. Oh, on the line, almost on the line. Harris was there. He said, no goal, no question of a goal.
With the score, the Quebec Nordiques 2 and the New York Islanders 1. This is Stanley Cup 82. Close call at the Nordiques goal. We'll take a look at it. The puck dribbled in behind Bouchard just inside the post. Now look at that. He sprawls, gets the left leg down, hangs on. Harris waves it off. That last goal was scored in 8:02. Peter Stastny from Marion and Bichette.
So the time the remaining is 10:01 as we look at Daniel Bouchard. And the Nordiques are leading 2-1. The Islanders, everybody out. That is Hoganson. Tonelli diligently goes after Hoganson, who lugs it up on the right side and gets it into the center ice area. Tonelli has it handed back. There's the shot. It's off Weir's stick on the deflection, and it's over the glass.
Here's Dave Hyde with an NHL update.
Chicago 1, Vancouver 0. That's the goal by Glenn Sharpley, assisted by Tom Lysiak.
Well, that's the action in Vancouver. Today, the Canucks as a team were fined $10,000 by the NHL. And Roger Nielsen, $1,000 personally for the waving the white towel routine in Chicago 2 nights ago.
That area is inside the Nordique line, and they clear it out. Janssen feeding it ahead on the left wing. Nystrom going in after Tonelli's pass. It's centered. Covered in front was Merrick by Weir there. Gets sticks up on each other. Now here's Paymont coming up with Aubry. Aubry over the line. Drop back to Paymont. He dances in there. Drops it back. And it's Merrick getting it to Tonelli. Tonelli over the line. Whistle a shot wide. Morrow playing it in. McCrae hands it off to Aubry. Up at the line is Paymont. Here's McCrae getting it back. Marwa shooting it. It was high over the top of the net. In behind the net, Paymont. Janssen knocking it. Let's see if Marwa will keep it in. He does. Tonelli knocking down a high Janssen pass. Kicked it out to Nystrom. Back to Tonelli. He's closing in. Shoots. And that one ends up finally off the glass behind Bouchard. Let's see, is there a penalty coming up here?
Marois draws his second penalty of the period. Hockey Night in Canada will continue in just a moment. Mario Marois off for slashing at 11:23 in this first period. The Nordiques lead the Islanders 2-1. New York now on the power play.
And each team's power play has been relatively productive so far in this hockey game. Each team with a goal. The Nordiques are leading 2-1. Now it's Bourne playing it into the center ice area to Bossy. Back to Bourne over the line. Here's Trottier. He's dynamite around that net, getting it back. Pearson over to Potvin, right in front of the shot. They score! Bossy!
Bob Bourne was in front of the net. Bobby, did he get his stick, skate, leg, whatever on the puck?
I believe he did, Dick. Bossy just wheeled and fired it, and it hit Bourne on either the skate or the leg and bounced in past Bouchard.
Danny, I don't know about your biorhythms, but I'm wondering about these goaltenders tonight. Neither one of them looks all that sharp. Here's the play here, Bobby. You're right. Bossy, boy, does he do that well. There's got to be a lesson in there for the kids, the way he fires that puck.
Now watch, Trottier. I was telling you how important it is for that play to come out of the corners. Those corner men, there it is, back to the point to Pearson, over to Potvin, into Bossy, and it hit Bourne up in the partway up in his body and deflected past Bouchard.
Well, there's a lesson being taught early in this hockey game. Do not get penalties tonight. Now Goulet coming in on that left side. Fired it off, and it goes to the left wing, the Islanders. Trottier. Over for Bossy. In behind the net. DuPont was bodied by Bourne. Into the center ice area. Goulet one-on-one. The shot. And a rising shot was wide to the far left side of Smith. Pichette gets it over on the other side to Rochefort. Trottier giving it to Gillies. Oh, that had to be a good stretch there by Bouchard to glove that one. It came in rather quickly. The Nordiques into the center ice area. Cloutier. Cloutier getting some skating room. Feeds it ahead on the left side. Peter Stastny around the net. Stastny getting set for a pass. He passes it. Pichette rolled it in front of the net. And it's knocked away by Gillies out on the right side. Now we're going to have a penalty, maybe eventually two. Let's see. Words between Trottier and Pichette.
Things warming up a little bit right at the center ice area. Trottier was involved in the play. Peter Stastny went down. Trottier's gone to the penalty box. Live from Quebec City, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Get a toaster oven.
Brian Trottier for hooking at 12:58. We've had 3 power play goals in about 4.5 minutes of playing time here. The last one, Bourne, his 7th of the playoffs. Potvin and Bossy assisting. There's Trottier hauling down Peter Stastny right at the center ice red line. So the Nordiques get their power play chance going again, Danny.
And again, they have the Stastnys up front. Pichette is over on the right side, and Cloutier on the left point. Cloutier to Pichette. 6 minutes and 55 seconds the time left in the opening period. Marian Stastny over to brother Anton. The Islanders getting into that box formation. Pichette to the other side. Stastny Peter got it back from Pichette. Now here's Pichette closing in for the shot. A hot shot grab there by Smith with Marion Stastny looking for a rebound that never did come.
I think maybe Pichette could have walked in a little bit.
Here's Dave with another NHL update.
And now passing the puck and hitting Thomas Gradine. And Gradine scores from Holinka. The Canucks are even with the Blackhawks at 1-1.
Now it's back into Nordiques territory. Trottier with 1:25 remaining in his penalty. And a wave of 5 Nordiques come to the New York Islanders line. And they find it difficult to penetrate. And finally, they have to go back into their own zone. Now Bourne is a penalty killer off the bench. He comes on. He goes deep into the New Nordiques territory. Marion Stastny over on the other side. Person spinorama there in fine fashion. Not quite as good as Savard's, but it's effective.
Rochefort touched the puck over his shoulder. And with the Nordiques having a man advantage, the faceoff will come down into the Quebec zone to the left of Daniel Bouchard. Well, there's Bob Bourne, who scored that power play goal at 11:43. Potvin and Bossy assisting. Mike McEwen, normally out there wearing number 2 for the Islanders, given the night off tonight by Al Arbor. Thomas Jonsson, the rookie from Sweden, taking his place on defense for New York.
McEwen has played very, very well offensively, Danny and Dick, but I believe they felt they needed a little more speed here with Johansson, a little more defensive part of the game to be played.
Caller used up some seconds, took it to center, whipped it back in. Now we have 44 seconds left in the Trottier penalty. Here come the Nordiques. They don't get very far again. And it's cleared down the ice. It's Goulet on the other side. Tardif is on the ice. Is that the first time tonight? I think it is. He was outstanding. In New York on Thursday, he plays it to the side of the net. Around the net, Paymon trying to get it out. Hoganson is back at the point. Let's see, will he pass it or shoot it? He gives it to Paymon. Paymon is working off the boards to the side of the net. To Hunter, back to Paymon. Paymon getting set for the shot. Not much on it. Now Tardif giving it for a Hunter. They fight for it. Paymon comes up with it. 1 second left in the penalty. It's all over. Now Tardif rolled it. It comes through the lip of the crease, and gobbling it up is Trottier. He's down. In over the line. The shot 2 or 3 feet wide. Wheeling away into the center ice area. Good move by Hunter. Hunter coming down, chasing it against Tonelli. They ram each other in on the boards. Janssen playing it to the other side. It'll be cleared in by Hoganson. Score is tied at 2. Hoganson again cleared it in. Missing it was Morrow. And Smith was waiting just in case something like that happened. Janssen in the corner area to Tonelli. He trapped it. Chases it now on the left side. Over to Merrick, going in with Nystrom. Nystrom covered there by Dupont. Nordiques at the line. Audrey to Cote. Cote over the line into the corner. Merrick plays it to the far side for Tonelli. Tonelli, he hit Nystrom with a very accurate pass, a drop pass there to Merrick. He lost it on the right side. Marwa. Cote has it with Peter Stastny and Hickey. Back it goes to Cote to Stastny. A shot to the short side. It went off Smith or off the side of the net over the glass.
This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Colisée in Quebec City.
With everything Canadian time.
I'm Dick Irvin along with Danny Gallivan, Bobby Hull, and Dave Hodge. We are at the Colisée in Quebec City. Game 3 in this Islanders-Nordiques Wales Conference Final. Tempers getting a little bit testy out there following the stoppage in play. We've got too many players on the ice, Bobby, more than the allowable 5. Nordiques had a terrible line change here a minute ago. On a rush up the ice, they were short a man for a good 15 seconds before they got things straightened out. I don't know, that's a strange one. All right, here's another NHL update. Dave.
from the point. The Vancouver Canucks have taken the lead. And that is the go-ahead goal by Neil Belland, beating Murray Bannerman from the point. And then the Blackhawks came back and tied it on the goal by Doug Wilson that we'll see if we get a chance. It's the same scores we have here, 2-2 in Vancouver.
And the shots on goal, 8-7. Are we getting 2 penalties? I believe here at least an indication from Harris that one was going to goal.
Trottier and Peter
Trotier's
Stastny.
going again. Is that Peter Stastny, Bobby? Did
I
you
believe
say?
so. You're not going to intimidate him.
Now, that goes back to the last movie there at center ice when Trottier hauled him down. They got Stastny grabbed Trottier's stick at that time and was upset. Well, then they started a fence a bit with each other right here. And again, it's NHL update time. Once again, no, it's not. I thought that was in Vancouver. There we see it.
Well, that's NHL update, too.
We're just updating the penalty situation
Absolutely.
here.
You're right. Right on the ball,
Thanks,
Vic.
Danny. I needed that.
Scores tied at 2, 3:34.
All right, here's Dave again now.
This is the Doug Wilson goal that tied it for Chicago after Neil Belland put Vancouver in front. It's a long shot from the point, and there haven't been many of these so-called bad goals beating Richard Brodeur. But that is the Wilson goal, and it's 2-2 in
If that
Vancouver.
fellow Wilson hasn't the hardest shot in hockey, he's up there with the guy who has.
Oh, he can really blitz it. He can let him go. And what a great kid he is, too.
He's Murray Wilson's brother, isn't
Yes.
he? Now the puck in the Islanders' zone. There is Potvin. Forechecking Cloutier. Lane on the right side. Not spectacular in this series, but outstanding, that gentleman there. But he wasn't too good there. Lane, he lost it to Hunter. I can put the whammy on anybody. Now there's Cloutier. Cloutier turning in the corner, getting it back to Marois. Over on the other side, right in front, Cloutier. Couldn't get it, but a penalty. Is it a penalty? Number 5, Potvin.
Well, Wally Harris busy all of a sudden here at this point of the hockey game. Somebody was dumped in the zone down there. Potvin gets the finger from Harris, so the Islanders have 2 men in the box, Trottier and Potvin. Take a look at it here. I saw Dale Hunter lying on the ice when the whole thing was over. Well, that's a pretty good reason why he was lying on the ice, Bobby. And for that, Denny Potvin pays the price of 2 minutes.
Potvin seems very testy tonight, doesn't he?
He is, and he's not the only one. There's a guy in the penalty box over there, Trottier, that generally minds his own business.
Well, you know, Potvin may have been reprimanded for making a statement, allegedly, that he found it difficult to get excited about the hockey.
Well, I think not only he and that club felt that it was a boring playoff season. I don't know how these guys could be bored in the Stanley Cup playoff.
So a glorious opportunity now for the Nordiques. They get the draw. It goes to Cloutier. He swings to the other side. Cloutier closing in, and a shot that's drilled. Pichette fakes it. He can move in there. He takes the shot off the arm of Smith. Cloutier has it to the side of the net. Paymont back to Cloutier. Paymont now with Smith after him. Paymont into the corner, getting it back to Anton Stastny. Stastny to Paymont. Paymont rolling it, still after it, into the corner. Stastny. Pichette is going to move in. Let's see, will he shoot it? Hands it off to Stastny. Over on the far side, Cloutier fired a rising shot. And it's over the glass. Not getting many shots. They got control, but not getting many shots, Bobby.
I believe they have to move it around on this one side, that the side that they flood, and get that one man playing, the penalty killer playing in the center, to move over to that side, and then with a quick pass over to where Cloutier was standing that time. They're not getting to him quite quick enough.
It's interesting. Michel Bergeron the other day was saying that when they have the power play at home, you know, we've talked a lot about the patience his team shows, puck control. The fans, he claims, get the players a bit uptight because they yell, shoot, shoot, shoot. He said he doesn't like to hear that.
Same thing in Winnipeg, Dick, when Hedberg and Nilsson, Schuberg, Mike Ford and I played on the power play, or Kent Nilsson. We used to move that puck around, and we'd move it around for 1 minute and 3/4 till we got that proper chance, and all you need is the one go at it.
But the fans will be hollering at you to shoot the puck.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Now the Nordiques into the center ice area. They lose it. Taking it on the left side is Bourne, and he sends it back into Quebec territory. Peter Stastny and Trottier with 16 seconds left in the penalty. Popped at 45. Here come the Nordiques. They rip it into the corner. In there goes Tardif. He bumps his man. But they give it up without really a fight there, and the Islanders take over. However, Pichette wheels back, comes in over the line. Trottier and Stastny are back on. Hunter turning on the boards. Back to the line. Cloutier over to Pichette. Off the boards. Goring cleared it down the ice. Bouchard coming away off. Now here's Barry and Stastny over on the far side of goals. Hunter turns. Hoganson is back at the line. Nordic still with the advantage. 6 seconds left in the penalty. They take the shot and shoot. They shoot. They hit the goal post. The players celebrated as if it was a goal, but no light went on. Cloutier thought he had a goal. There's the shot. Arian Stastny just wide. But there was no argument, no obvious argument from the Nordiques. There is Morrow down there, and he is doing a little fencing with Hunter. How did you see that shot?
Well, I believe it hit the right goal post to Smith's right, went up and hit the crossbar about halfway across the net and then bounced out, or else hit on back in the net. But I believe it hit the post and then the crossbar. I don't know whether we can get a shot of that or not. Cloutier, I'm sure, thought it was in, as well as a lot of other people. Here it is here. Here's Cloutier. Here comes the puck.
Yep.
It's just off the crossbar.
Post to the crossbar,
I think
Bobby.
so.
Look at it.
That's right. Here it is again. Let's see. Watch again. Yeah, hit the
Incredible.
Post and then the crossbar now.
Well, Morrow and Hunter drew penalties for that high-sticking duel of theirs at 19-13 here in this first period. A 2-2 tie. And we've had some scoring chances, particularly the Nordiques, it would seem.
So number 6 of the Islanders is off along with 32. And they'll finish out this period in the penalty box. 44 seconds the time remaining. Now at the line, Marois over on the far side. Dupont clearing it ahead. Cote bumped there by Lane. Peter Stastny twisting and turning. He spun around by Trottier. Is another visitation in order to the penalty box for number 19, Trottier. He has lost any chance he has for the playoff version of the big trophy.
His Stastny's going with him. That's the second time that they've been sent off together. You see Trottier take a jab at Cote, and when the whistle went, boy, he just won't quit. Don Cherry pointed this out the other night, Bobby. Whenever you check Brian Trottier, don't think the play's all over. He always answers you back.
Well, Cote happened to run into him as he swung up in the center ice zone, and whether it was Stastny or whoever, he was going to take a whack at him.
So the penalties have been called to Morrow and Hunter. Now we get Stastny and Trottier. Third time that they have come together. There's Stastny with the slash on Trottier in retaliation. Well, they're both getting penalties for slashing on the play.
So it's 22 seconds left. The face-off outside the Islanders' line. Each team with 3 players in front of the goalie. Now Marois leading the final attack, maybe. There's a hot shot by Marois, and hopping on it was Smith. Now the Nordiques will have time for another shot, but that was a harmless one, and that is the end of the period. First period, 2-2 the score.
Well, a lively period, Bobby, for the most part, and I thought the Nordiques came out and pretty well did what they have to do to win this hockey game.
Well, they did, Dick, and let's hope that they can maintain that momentum. I've seen them a lot peppier than they are in that first period.
So we've got a tie hockey game, and the score at the end of the first period, the New York Islanders 2, the Quebec Nordiques 2.
The Islanders 2, Nordiques 2. The second period about to get underway. Dick, give you time for a summary.
Now, after McRae's early goal, Bossy on a power play, Peter Stastny on a power play, Bourne on a power play. Quebec outshot the Islanders in that first period, 10-8.
Number 6, a minute and 2 seconds. That is Morrow, and 32 the same amount of time. That's Hunter. Trottier has a minute and 20 seconds, and Peter Stastny a minute and 20. So they're playing for a side, and there's Potvin coming in on the left side. Carroll is getting in front, but the shot goes off the leg of Marwa into the corner. Carroll getting it back to Potvin. Lane is over on the other side. There it goes to Lane. He takes the shot. Carroll into the corner, zigging and zagging. He's given a shove there by DuPont, and Hickey has it for the Nordiques. Quebec into the center ice area. Here is Marwa cutting in, and he lost it to Potvin. Potvin coming out rather slowly, gets a neat pass on the left side to Bourne. He winds up for the shot. Blocked there by Pichette. Pichette takes his man Bourne in on the board. Struggling forward is Bourne, and it is loose for Pichette. Now then, Morrow and Hunter out of the penalty box. Quebec down on the right side. Langevin got a piece of Paiement, who then shoved his man, Persson. Paiement couldn't get it. It comes to the side of the net. Morrow of the Islanders takes his time trying to shake off Paiement to Persson over on the other side. Langevin gives it to Morrow. He's going to take the long shot. And that seemed to catch Bouchard under where? At times, Bobby, I think Bouchard has been a bit shaky. Now into the corner, they fight for it. The other penalized players are back in circulation as Hunter makes a move, plays it over on the other side. It's cleared by Pichette and gobbled up there by Coutier, the shot, and he ripped it off Langevin. Now the Islanders into the center ice area. Keller leading Trottier. Bossy is getting in front, and Bossy was covered well there by Weir. The Islanders getting it out. Keller's shot. It's to the side of the net. Now Goulet failed to clear it out. It's slashed back by Keller. That's Bossy going after Weir to the other side. Cloutier could not negotiate contact, and it goes right back into the New York zone. 2 minutes and 30 seconds have gone by in the second period. 2-2 the score. The Islanders to the attack, broken up by Weir. They recover it. There's Keller, the back pass for Nystrom. Feeding it in for Merrick, knocked away by Hoganson. Nystrom into the corner, watched by Aubry. Now Goulet is going to be able to bring it into the center ice area. On the far side, he has Cloutier the shot. No difficulty there for Smith. Merrick wrapped it off the boards down the ice. There's no icing on it. Now we have played exactly 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Into the second period. The power play was a dominant factor of the opening period. The team splitting 4 goals. That's the way the scoring story looks at the moment, 2-2. There's Weir with a rather nimble pass. Anton Stastny couldn't get it, and Merrick shot. Goes to Nystrom. Lining him up is Weir, and Weir missed him. Nystrom takes a look. Weir now after Nystrom again. The Islanders on the board. Merrick clearing it back into the corner. That is Tonelli. He centered it in front, and Merrick couldn't fire it onto the target. It hit a stick in front of Bouchard. Now Peter Stastny. Stastny clearing it right in front for Murray and Stastny. And it was Nystrom, who is an excellent two-way hockey player, got back. Nystrom is particularly tough, Bobby Hull, in the playoffs.
Oh, he's strong. We all remember that big goal he scored back in 80 series.
Now getting it at center. Boring trying to set up Gillies after taking the center pass. Somebody is injured there. That's Rochefort.
He went into the board awfully heavily. Fell into it seemed, with his right shoulder down on the boards just above the ice. He went in there with Clark Gillies. Concern, of course, expressed by Michel Bergeron as Rochefort is down in the area behind the Quebec net.
That's all they need, another injured defenseman.
Oh, yeah, tonight, you know, Dupont is playing hurt, Marois playing hurt, Hoganson is playing hurt. That's the experience, Bobby, that they have, and these young defensemen began to show signs of wear and tear, I thought, in the third period the other night in New York in Game 2, and you can't blame them. They have no playoff experience, and they're having to do all the work.
You have to give them a great deal of credit. I've said that all through the series here, Montreal, Boston, and now here in the New York series, that Pichette and Rochefort have played so very well for rookies.
Well, regardless of what happens, they have already fashioned one of the outstanding and exciting stories. They're going to look at it.
There's that collision where Rochefort went into the boards. Clark Gillies, a pretty big guy to budge going into a situation like that.
Okay, we might take a look here and see how Rochefort falls as he goes down, and as you can see, as he disappeared out of camera range, he sort of went in shoulder first as he hit the board low just above the ice. So now he is on his feet. The Nordiques number 5, Normand Rochefort from the Colisée in Quebec City. This is Stanley Cup 82. 4:34 gone in this second period, a 2-2 tie. The New York Islanders and the Quebec Nordiques, and Normand Rochefort has been taken to the Quebec dressing room after that collision with first Clark Gillies and with the boards here just a moment ago.
The fourth game of this series will be played here at the Colisée on Tuesday. They get set for the face-off in the Nordique zone, and it's back to Lane. To Potvin, a good pass to Sutter. Tries to set up Gillies, and he is called on the offside. You know, the enthusiastic, noisy, and excited capacity crowd of Nordique fans no doubt remember well and are still savoring that sweet comeback victory against Boston. And, of course, the Nordiques were down after 2 games. So what are the fans thinking here? We're going to start the comeback against the Islanders with this game tonight.
Very possible.
But right now, it's tied at 2. There's Lane slapping it. Pichette getting it back to the line. Over the line, Anton Stastny! Shot! And a brilliant save with that right arm by Smith. Anton Stastny showed a lot of grit, determination, and dedication, and an excellent shot, too. When he hunches over, Bobby, he can move. Down the ice it goes. This could be icing against Quebec.
Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Colisée in Quebec City.
Ford and its dealers announce cash rebates on new light trucks.
Face-off is to the left of Bouchard. You have Pearson up along with Langevin, who takes the shot, the rebound. It went off Bourne. Now Bourne gets it handed to him, to Bossy. A good move against Hunter. Back to Pearson, a grab there. Bouchard looked very steady and brilliant on that one.
Certainly did. That's Quebec. They're being a little lethargic in their own end. They're not just jumping on, they're giving that puck away in their own end.
Pearson let it go from just inside the blue line. I think early indications in this period, Danielle is a little bit sharper. Danny, you don't mind if we call you Danny? Or...
That is all right. There's nothing in my contract that says that you have to call me Daniel.
There's a lot of money in your contract.
I'm just satisfied to have a contract.
Just don't call you late for dinner.
If you've just started to look in on us. 2-2, there's the shot. I thought it might be 3-2 when Bossy wound up. But the shot hit a player in front. Now Coutier is coming back, and he drops it back. Hunter centers it. Ricochet. And it almost on the ricochet of the pass got by Smith. I think you have to be a bit lucky to have a ricochet like that stay out.
I'd rather be
There's
lucky
the
than
shot. That was Hoganson taking it. Not too much on that one to the other side. Langevin giving it to Bourne. Trottier leading his man, Bossy. Weir got back. Bossy still with it. He centered it. Langevin shooting it. Blocked by Bouchard. Nordiques into the center ice area. There's Goulet swinging to one side, crisscrossing Coutier. Coutier getting in front. And Pearson cleared it. Finally, it's out over the line. Nordiques with Pichette waiting for his teammates to get onside. Rolled it in. Langevin missed his man. This could be icing going back after it. Pichette icing against New York.
And the Nordiques injury prone again as far as their defense corps is concerned. There is Mario Marois, Dave's guest in the first intermission. He's just been walking off an injury up and down the corridor. Rochefort has gone to the dressing room. He's hurt. Boy, they are really suffering. They're like snake bitten, Bobby, and that defense corps of theirs.
Well, I'd like to see Michel Bergeron, coach of Quebec, change his lines maybe a little quicker. They seem to be getting caught out there in long changes, and that's when things happen. They get mentally tired, physically tired, they make mistakes.
All right, you say more quickly. What time would you give a line?
Oh, right now, I don't think they should. I think they should be heading for the bench after a half a minute if the play is going into the opposition, if they don't have a good try at it.
That's what I like, that specific stuff. There's the shot. Smith didn't like that, but he got in front of it, and Weir let it go, but it was fairly high. Now Pichette in there, forechecking Nystrom along with Merrick. For Nystrom, will he get it in front? It went off the Bouchard stick over the glass.
This is Hockey Night in Canada from the Colisée in Quebec City.
The Islanders 2, Nordiques 2. Janssen and Morrow up on the Nordiques line. We're getting it out on the left side. There's a pass into the center ice area. Here's Hickey cutting in, putting on the brakes. Cote slammed it. Hickey takes a shot. Morrow playing it ahead to Nystrom. Merrick got away from Cote's check. Offside pass to Tonelli.
Well, there is John Tonelli, who's become quite a hockey player. The winning goal when they won their 15th straight on Chico Resch late in the third period. The overtime goal that gave them the victory in the first series, that close one over Pittsburgh.
Saw John's dad last night at a roast they had for Brother Dennis up in Milton, Ontario by the Optimist Club. Told me make sure to say hello to his son and wish him all the best. We had a great time. Great time.
Was Dennis very humorous?
Oh, he is so humorous. We had the greatest group of speakers that I have ever heard. They were very, very, very excellent speakers. Brother Dennis, he topped it all off, and he roasted everyone else.
Don't tell me you roasted your brother.
I had nothing bad to say about it.
Now it's Nystrom coming to the line, making a move. And it hit Weir. Score is tied at 2. Holkinson's pass too hard for Paymont, and it's cleared down the ice by Nystrom, mixing it up now with Paymont. Oh, a right hand by Nystrom, and that leads to a struggle. Paymont and Nystrom.
A couple of pretty tough cookies there.
That was a pretty good left hand there by Paymont.
Just grazed him, I think.
Yeah, Paymont got the sweater up and off, it looks like. Bob Nystrom has a reputation, if you are interested in this sort of thing involved with a hockey game, of being a pretty good battler. Paymont stood right in there. It's interesting when you see one fella, Bobby, with a helmet and the other doesn't have a helmet. Well, they both are battle-scarred warriors when that one's over. Paymont started the game with a patch on his chin area. There he is in the penalty box with the score. The New York Islanders 2 and the Quebec Nordiques 2. This is Stanley Cup 82.
These men have just bought the 1982 Lawn Boy Supreme.
Well, I try to take a look at the beginning of this Bob Nystrom with Paymont confrontation. There it goes, off the boards. And was it when they came off the boards, Danny, that Nystrom swung around with the right hand? Anyway, there's Paymont in the box. They both received 7 minutes, 2 minutes for roughing and 5-minute major penalties for fighting. And that's Nystrom. He's yelling down toward the referee, not toward Wilf Paymont.
And numerically, the manpower situation on the ice is not altered because of the assessment of these penalties.
Nystrom's asking permission, Danny, to leave the penalty box and go to the dressing room with an equipment problem. The reaction from the crowd, predictable. It's 2-2 here, 2-2 in Vancouver, where the Canucks and the Blackhawks are playing Game 3 in their Campbell Conference Final.
It is Gillies scoring. Lane. Sutter, there's a shot rolled in, and another shot by Gillies. Gillies had 2 chances, and these were tricky shots, Bobby.
Well, Gillies stayed with his man and fought him off, DuPont, and the puck came to him on his backhand, and he fired it just about went through Bouchard's leg.
Bobby, when you think of this game, it just kind of, the Islanders have had 2 or 3 chances like that. The Nordiques are not jumping on the rebounds at the other end of the rink. That seems to be one thing that they could be doing a little bit better.
Well, I said early they were a little lethargic in their own end in clearing the puck. They gave it away a couple times, and they aren't just as sharp as they could be.
Well, lethargy cannot be a part of your play. If you're playing a confident and experienced team such as the New York Islanders, you'll pay for that lethargy.
You certainly do.
But right now, the price has not been too exacting. The score is tied at 2. Dwayne Sutter in the corner. He's knocked to the ice by DuPont. Marwa gets it ahead. Marian Stastny into the center ice area with his brothers. A drop pass. Anton over to Peter. It's shoved into the center ice area by Gillies, going down with Sutter. Sutter dropping it back, and thank you very much, says Peter Stastny. And he leads this man, which is his brother, Marian, down the ice. Anton, Marian Stastny had his stick held by Lane, and solicitously he looked at the referee as much as to say, how about a penalty there?
For the second time in the game, the Vancouver Canucks have gone ahead of the Chicago Blackhawks. This is in the second period of play, and the goal is scored by Kurt Fraser. Just outside the face-off circle, he beats Murray Bannerman in the Chicago net. The Canucks lead the Hawks again, 3-2.
So Vancouver going ahead 3-2. Fraser's a very valuable hockey player, much underrated, I think.
I spent a summer playing hockey with him. He played with my boys. He's a strong kid.
Now the players fall in behind the net. That is Hunter along with Pearson.
Well, there is the battle-scarred Wolf Paymont in the penalty box. He had that, as I mentioned, that patch on his chin at the start of the hockey game. Just doesn't help when you get involved with something like that with Nystrom.
I see Wilfred's parents here. Again, they're big, strong folks. And Rozier, his brother, is up from his Coral Plaza motel that he has down in Fort Lauderdale. Really great spot.
Well, I don't think he could get his 15 brothers and sisters here. They wouldn't have enough tickets available. But he has done great work for Quebec since coming here from Toronto. In on the boards from the Nordique zone. It's held there for the face-off. And the Paymonts welcomed their second child just before Wilf was traded to Quebec.
Correct.
So they're going to keep up that tradition. Ten minutes and 58 seconds, the time remaining in the second period. Islanders 2, Nordiques 2. It is DuPont. Marwa swings over to the other side. It's lugged up by DuPont. A good pass into the center ice area. Cloutier banged Hunter's pass in. Here is Smith. Hunter knocks Langevin down. The Nordiques. Penalty for charging, I think the call against Hunter. And Langevin is warning number 32, Hunter of Quebec.
What happened there? Hunter tried to get Langevin involved. Langevin just pointed to the penalty box, and that's where Dale Hunter's headed for right now. Hockey Night. Charging call on Dale Hunter of the Nordiques at 9:18. We see it here in the corner to the left in the Islanders zone. Look at Hunter coming in at the top of your screen, nailing Langevin against the board. So New York, Danny, on a power play.
And I would think, Bobby, that the coach will not be praiseworthy toward Hunter. That's not a good thing. Pearson. It goes to Keller up on the right side. Merrick takes it with his skate. Merrick around the net, getting in front is Tonelli. Back it goes to Potvin. Pearson over to Potvin. He closed in, takes the shot. And it went off Bouchard. Somebody broke a stick there. It's an Islander. So that neutralizes the manpower advantage for the Nonce at least, but Caller has it. That is his stick. And the puck to Potvin. Pearson lost that pass to Hickey. Cote and Hickey up front killing penalties. Now they are relieved by Goulet and by Peter Stastny. Islanders were in the process of making a change there, and they were not in a position to receive that pass, so they got nowhere. As a matter of fact, they're experiencing all kinds of difficulty mounting something of an effective nature on this power play. There's an offside. Would you agree with that, Mr. Hall?
I certainly will, Danny. I don't know what they're trying to do. I believe everyone, by the looks of things, they're rushing out of their own end a little too quickly. They're leaving the men with the puck back behind the blue line and no one to give it to, and they're having to throw it through a Quebec player in order to get it to the Nordiques, and they're having problems getting it past them.
Well, the Nordiques' best forward in the second game of the series in New York has been on the ice exactly once tonight. I have reference to Mark Tardif. And he's having problems here with the fans. In the second half, he did not play commensurate with his enormous talent. He has a lot of talent, no question about it. But if they keep getting injuries, he'll be out.
Maybe he can play defense.
And DuPont just went to the dressing room.
Now Pearson over on the far side. He hit Bourne into the slot area. Hoganson couldn't clear it out. Trottier gave it to his man Bourne to Pearson. Off the leg. Nordiques were very slow to react there. They had stopped that shot. Goulet did with his leg. Now chasing it to the far side along the boards. That is Bourne. Trottier looking for it. It's cleared down the ice by Peter Stastny. Hunter will be out before the Islanders can get going again. Now Hunter is out of the penalty box. Here's Bossy in on the right side. Goring is racing in. There's a shot off the leg. It's swept down the ice by Hickey. And Janssen back. An icing infraction against the Nordiques. Scored tied at 2.
The Islanders did not have a shot on goal during the penalty to Dale Hunter as they look at Thomas Janssen, a 21-year-old recruit from Sweden in his first NHL season. Probably not a wide-open hockey game. I think a lot of us thought it might be in this building. The Nordiques, an offensive-type club, at least during the regular season. 13-13, the shots through this point were past the halfway mark. Quite a contrast from the other night. Quebec had 31 or 32 shots first two periods.
Smith was very hot during that span.
I see DuPont is back near the bench talking to the trainer. I think that's tape he's getting.
There's thumb injury, you know, and it's bothering him again. Heard it in the first game of the series.
Pichette cleared it to the far side, dashing in Goring. Cloutier covered up on him. Pichette lost it, Cloutier with it. Islanders, everybody in over the line, doing the forechecking. Gillies clearing it in front. Score tie at 2. Weir in on the boards along with Dwayne Sutter. And they get a whistle.
So a bit more pushing and shoving, but the action isn't exactly breathtaking right here at this point of the hockey game. Dave Pichette involved down there in the middle of things, along with Clark Gillies and others. Mark Tardif's on Danny just saw. We have a couple of presidents on your screen right now. On the left is John Ziegler, president of the National Hockey League. And on the right of your screen, Marcel Aubout, the president of the Quebec Nordiques, as they sit directly behind the Quebec players' bench.
7 minutes and 58 seconds, the time remaining. The shots on goal reflective of a rather slow, not wide open type of second period. Shots on goal 13 for each team. A body belt there by Gillies. Against Weir, the Nordiques lose it. Here's Goring, beating it in front of Gillies. And he was being checked. That was one that looked like a devastating mistake for the Nordiques. Now coming down. Tardif is on. Over on this side it goes to Weir. The shot. Tardif looking for a rebound, but there was none.
Game is still tied 2-2. Live from Quebec City, the Stanley Cup playoff.
What you got there, pal?
Oh, Harry, it's a Stanley garage door opener.
And there you see the score, Islanders 2, Nordiques 2, all goals coming in the first period, which was certainly from a spectator's point of view a much more pleasing period than this. But the purists might tell you that this is better. I don't know. You tell me.
Guess I'm not a purist.
That's why I didn't.
Neither is Bobby. Now it goes to the other side on the boards. Puck is loose. The Islanders coming up with it. There's been a fair and a sizable number of giveaways.
Mentioned that earlier. They're really giving the puck away. They're just
That's very
not
sloppy.
sharp at all.
That's very sloppy there. Now into the center ice area. Peter Stastny. Stastny putting on the brakes. In it goes off the stick. Anton Stastny still with it. Back it goes. And they missed cue on that setup, and that was Anton Stastny who was responsible. You know what might open it up and make them a little sharper? A goal to break the tie. Let's see who's going to get it, if anybody in this period. On the boards, Marian Stastny coming into the center ice area. Fires it over to Anton. Anton into the slot area, being checked, cleared it in front. And Lane gets it to the line, not out. Weir knocked it back. There's Lane again. And Keller. When he first came here, he was known as Kallur, very sophisticated. Now it's to the lady in front. But that name has been North Americanized to Keller. Here is Peter Stastny. In over the line. Marian Stastny winds up. And the goalie on that was Lane. A little pressure here now by the Nordiques. Finally, it's cleared down to the Quebec line. Pichette hands it off to Weir. Back to Pichette, forechecking Carroll. Up on the right side. Hickey couldn't get it. 5.5 minutes remaining in the second period. There is an offside.
This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Colisée in Quebec City.
You know you've wanted a home for...
Face off outside the Islanders line. It's ripped in there by Marwa. He almost did Wally Harris. Had he hit him, it may have delayed his golfing season. He's a two-handicapper.
The handy guy for the Islanders, Billy Carroll, 22 years of age, former London junior. He's a lot in a defensive role. He doesn't play in this. This is a kind of a new line out here now. Carroll, Gillies, and Brett Sutter.
Langevin ahead to Dwayne Sutter. Carroll reaching for it. Marwa turning, scored tied at 2. Pouncing on it, Pearson to Gillies. He's upended at the line. Carroll in there to get possession. Into the corner. Brent Sutter passing it back. And it goes down the ice. 4 minutes and 46 seconds left in the second period. Up to the line, the Islanders. Here's Carroll chasing it, broken up, given back to the Islanders by DuPont, and Langevin shot it in. Here's DuPont getting a second shot to set up a play. He gets the pass to Cloutier. Coming in is Goulet over with Hunter. Good back-checking there by number 22, who is known mostly for his goals. I have reference to Bossy. He came back there very well. Janssen flipping it. And it goes to the bench of the Nordiques and then falls to the ice.
You know, Bobby, you were mentioning off the top of the show that some of the Islanders say, well, you know, we're getting bored by all this, but it's interesting to be in New York to get the reaction down there. They really can't do anything right in the eyes of some people. They expect so much of them as we look ahead to the promotional fact that next Tuesday night, Game 4 will be played here at the Colisée, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. You know, they've won 6 of the last 7 playoff games, and yet the feeling is, what's wrong with the Islanders? You know, that's the price you pay for success.
Nordiques fail to hold it in. Marwa to Cloutier. Now DuPont takes a look. Where will his pass go? It's a bit of a shot, rolling it in over the line. It's loose in the slot area. Backhand shot by Goulet, and he never did get it airborne. He was up against Bourne. Well, if you're not going to get it airborne, I suppose you should be up against Bourne. Now it's into the center ice area. At the line, here's Trottier with Bossy. Pass into the slot again. Bourne was belted there by Hunter. Janssen cleared it into the center ice area. Bossy got it back to Morrow, to Bossy, 2-2 the score. Here's Bossy falling. He fell without taking a body check. Morrow shoots it, kicked nimbly to the wing by Bouchard. The Nordiques led by Anton Stosky and over the line with Marion. They roll it right in front. The Trossier was there as much as to say, here I am, give it to me. There is a mix-up over at the line. Trossier and a Hunter, they went out together earlier, and they almost came to blows there. The linesman got in there.
I don't think Wally Harris really saw that. I doubt very much whether there'll be any penalties, but these two guys are back at each other's throats again. If it isn't Peter Stastny that Trottier is after, it's Dale Hunter.
Bobby, am I right in saying that your heart tells you Chicago in the other series, but maybe your head says Vancouver?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, Vancouver got a split in those two games in Chicago.
Yes, they did, but I think Chicago can still win in Vancouver. There's that mix-up that we were talking about earlier with Trottier and Hunter, and they are not going to receive penalties.
3 minutes exactly. That is the time left in the second period. We're tied at 2, and Goring, ever alert, almost batted it away from Hoganson into the net. Bouchard. Ordinarily, that type of thing would catch you off guard.
There's Hoganson and Pichette playing tic-tac-toe back there behind the blue line in front of Bouchard, and Goring and Dwayne Sutter in quickly on top of the two defensemen, causing them to cough up the puck.
And that is Weir. Gillies stops him. Now Weir and Gillies pinning in on the boards. 2:44 left.
Yeah, there's big Wally Weir, pressed into service, you might say, in these playoffs with the injuries on defense with the Nordiques. He did not see that much service at various times during the season. Played as a forward, Bobby, as the season came to an end. Back on defense now.
Well, I bet they're pleased that he can play defense
in this
situation.
Turned into a handy guy for them.
Goring against Peter Stastny on this face-off. Potvin playing up with Lane, back to Potvin. In for Gillies to Potvin. Shot off a stick. Goring's passed up by Stastny, who failed to clear it out. Hoganson got it into the center ice area with that clip. Potvin to Lane. Off Sutter. Sutter getting in there. Loose puck. Centered again. And the Nordiques may be able to work it out. They do. They go into the center ice area led by Stastny Peter. Back to the line. It rolls in. And Potvin leading a 3-man attack for the Islanders. Here's Potvin. And that is an offside. That's unpardonable.
We welcome the viewers who have been watching the Vancouver-Chicago telecast. I'm Dick Irvin with Danny Gallivan, Dave Hodge, and Bobby Hull here at the Colisée in Quebec City. 2 minutes and 6 seconds remain in the second period. And the Nordiques and the Islanders are in a 2-2 tie in a game that has produced a lot of close checking, a total of only 31 shots on goal, 16-15 for the Islanders. We are late in this second period.
The Islanders had that break led by Potvin, 3 of them. An offside, you wouldn't think it would happen. Lack of discipline or what?
Honor the puck carrier. Maybe it's getting to that point where they're getting a little slack mentally and not doing what's proper.
Now it's out to the line, and out it came in for the offside.
Talked with Al Arbour, coach of the Islanders, said that he didn't think that his team had played as well after they went that 15 games without losing. They didn't feel that they've got back on track since then. Maybe they're just like a great racehorse. They only play hard enough to win. What do you think?
Well, it must be tough on their fans at times. Now Aubry clearing it in. penalty. Cote was upended. Interference will be the call. Nystrom, I believe.
He has just come out of the penalty box. Nystrom and Will Paymon had a very vigorous fight. Earlier in this second period, they received 7 minutes in penalties as a result. There goes Nystrom back in. 3 of the 4 goals in this game coming as a result of power plays, all in the first period. Scoring for Quebec, McCray and Peter Stastny, and for the Islanders, Mike Fossey and Bob Bourne. Now we see why number 23, Bob Nystrom, has been penalized right here. There's a bit of a traffic jam inside the Islanders' blue line. Down goes Cote, and away to the penalty box goes Nystrom.
So 1 minute and 43 seconds will be the time that the Nordiques have before the end of this period to go ahead. This has not been a titillating second period of hockey. In fact, it has been on the dull side at times. With the score tied 2-2, they have been exceptionally cautious at times. Now the Nordiques are on the power play for them into the center ice area. Pass goes for Cloutier. He couldn't come up with it. Goring does. What a penalty killer he is. He's in over the line. Killing off very valuable seconds. Got it back to Potvin. We have the Stastnys out there. Peter, Merriam, and Anton. Pichette and Cloutier. And so far, in the first 43 seconds, the Nordiques have done nothing on the power play. They're going to try it again. They're broken up. Here comes the Islanders. Keller is getting a break going right in. A goal, he scores!
Short-handed goal, and I know, Bobby, hindsight's 20/20, but boy, the Nordiques were just going nowhere, as Danny mentioned, and it cost them.
Oh, couldn't you see it coming, though? They didn't seem to want that puck, anyone coming out of their own end. They couldn't make that crisp pass that they generally do, and this is what culminated in.
Well, Calor gets the puck as it comes loose in the center ice zone, and it's pushed ahead by Bob Bourne. Good move, Bobby, by Calor as he goes in close. Look at that side.
Well, Bourne made the big play, pushed it ahead of Pichette, then took Pichette out so he couldn't get over to Calor.
And these European hockey players, Bobby, have a great flair for finishing off a play with a flourish.
They sure know how to get it done.
You know, they deke and move around, generally using the wrist shot. 35 seconds the time left in the period. 50 seconds remaining in the penalty to Nystrom. And the Islanders are leading 3-2. There's an offside. No cohesion in the power play for Quebec.
Here's that Calor going in on Bouchard. Makes Bouchard make that first move, and then fired it low to the far corner.
So Bourne on the assist, Calor at 19-12 on the shorthanded goal, and the Islanders up.
One moment, please.
To 15. That is in the shots on goal. And they lead in the game 3-2. By virtue of a shorthanded goal, here's Tardif. And there you see the lack of that crisp passing about which Bobby referred a moment or so ago. Out it comes. The shot right on. Rebound. And the period has ended, and that was their best scoring opportunity on the power play.
And it ends possibly with Denny Potvin getting a break because he seemed to reach out, grab the puck. But as they leave the ice, the shorthanded goal by Calor standing up as the Islanders lead by 1. And so the score at the end of the second period, the New York Islanders 3 and the Quebec Nordiques 2.
Canucks lead quickly reduced to a goal. Just about set for the third period here in Quebec. We'll return with the Stanley Cup playoffs in just a moment.
Third period just underway, 3-2 for the Islanders. The penalty now to Nystrom has expired, and it's cleared into New York territory. Potvin on the boards. He's being hounded by Anton Stastny. So the second period, just the one goal. Not a very good period. It looked as if both teams had just come from the Quebec Winter Carnival and had forgot to take their snowshoes off.
Might mention to the viewers that while we were looking at that game from Vancouver in the second intermission, and they had that shot of the crowd at the Coliseum out there waiting.
What Peter can muster.
Boy, Peter scored one in Boston. It was the winning goal, and I guess it was game 4 there in any event. Boy, did he let a wrist shot go into the top corner. Oh, game 5.
Lane knifed it down to the Nordiques line. Weir took the Marois pass, cleared it ahead. Lane again to Potvin. There's Lane getting it returned. That pass does not hit Tonelli. Marois over to Weir. 3-2. The Islanders leading in the third period. 2 minutes, 34 seconds have gone by. Islanders just got rid of it. This will be icing with Marois back to touch.
Well, I think you can see, Bobby, the reason for the concern of Al Arbor as we look at John Tonelli, because Tonelli and his teammates, while they lead the series by 2 games and lead this game by 1 goal, there's just, I don't know, they just don't have that little extra jump that you expect from the New York Islanders.
They seemed to, in that second period, just be playing a cat and mouse game with Nordique, waiting for them to make a mistake, and finally they were patient. There's Mark Tardif getting a chance to play now. He should be good and fresh. I'd keep Mark out there until he got those wheels moving.
Tardif struggles to get possession. Nystrom had a pass go off a stick. It's dug out by Merrick. Nordiques are doing some forechecking with Tardif, Hickey, and Miriam Stastny coming in. Merrick going right in front, takes the shot. That hit Marois, I think, before it got to Bouchard.
That was a good play by Merrick. He can turn the Jets on, Bobby. That time, Weir was caught up the ice. Marois, good defensive save for Quebec.
Watch Stastny going across to cut Merrick off, but Merrick just dropped that shoulder somewhat. Went right by on Marois, moved across on the right side to pick up the other Islander coming in, and was able to help Bouchard block the puck.
Merrick's reaction there, just as the camera panned away, just slammed his hand up against his leg. Wayne Merrick, Danny, one of my favorite alumni members of the California Golden Seal. There are a few of them left.
Was Hoganson with the Golden Seal?
No, L.A.
L.A., yes. In it goes along the boards. Now, DuPont shooting it, sliding in front. Pearson, there's another. Hit the goal post. DuPont took a low drive from the far point. Hit the goal post, and then Smith beaten all the way. There's a shot from outside by Langevin. DuPont shot it out over the line. Trottier on it. Langevin clearing it back in over the line. 3-2 for the Islanders. Here is Hunter trying to ignite something for the Nordiques. Goring, after taking the pass from Bossy, digs in over the line, takes the shot, no difficulty for Bouchard. He plays it up ahead to Goulet, coming up as Payman. Pearson broke it up, hands it back in there to Langevin. His pass misses on the left side. He shot back, and that is icing against New York.
Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Colisée in Quebec City.
Tomorrow morning.
Hunter hit.
Well, there's the 3-2 score for the visitors over the locals. Means the Islanders lead the Nordiques, but Bobby, the home team came awfully close right here.
There's a shot by DuPont. There's Hunter falling backwards, just tipped the puck, and it hit dead on the post.
Now it is Lane. Potvin playing it on the left side. Trottier shot it in. That is the signal for changes for the Islanders. Lane stopping it at the line. Pass to the other side. Picked up by Payman. Payman with Peter Stastny. Back to Payman. They run into trouble at the line, and it's golfed down on the left side by Gilly. Pichette hands it off. Up on the right side, here's Payman. Payman trying to drop it back. Finally, it's picked up by Peter Stastny. It's done. And Anton Stastny shot it off the leg of Lane. Here is Potvin over on the other side. A shot there by Sutter. That's Dwayne Sutter. Pichette, the big defenseman, ahead on the right side. Anton Stastny upended, and a penalty for tripping against New York.
This is Hockey Night in Canada from the Colisée in Quebec City. Well, a capacity crowd of 15,238 here at the Colisée, trying to get their team worked up as any pot fans in the box. Here's why. Tripping the call as he dumps Anton Stastny.
And the crowd in an anticipatory mood, the anticipation of tying goal on this power play. Let's see, it's going to be in front. Cardiff couldn't make the move to get the shot after taking the pass. Now the Islanders clearing it gently down into Nordiques territory. Quebec, led by Marois, heads at Cardiff, in over the line, hands it off. There's a shot from the far side by Goulet. Marois to Marion Stastny, back to Marois. Marois forced over to the far side. Now Cardiff behind the net, trying to center it. It's cleared by Pearson. Marois back in there. Here is Cardiff. Cardiff takes a look, gives it to Stastny. Marion to Cardiff. He rolled it in front. It's off his stick. But there to receive it was Bourne, and he shot it down the ice. Bergeron and Arbor both making changes. Coutier ahead to Peter Stastny with Marion and Anton. In over the line. Into the corner. Anton is up-ended. And the crowd reacting on that. The Islanders shooting it down the ice. So the fans were on referee Wally Harris. They're convinced if they had been refereeing, there would have been a penalty for tripping against Anton Stastny. Here's Goring. Goring over in the far side, knocked in on the boards by Peter Stastny. He shot into the center ice area with Payman. Payman over the line. Payman takes a look. Back to the line. Here's Bichette to Payman. Payman trying to get it to the side. It's back to Payman. Over the goal. Anton Stastny!
A super play by Will Payman. Bobby perfectly timed at the goal crease.
He was patient. Payman held that puck. He got it off the boards. Here he is holding it. And Anton Stastny, here it comes back to Payman again. There he is. He's patient with it. There's Peter Stastny being knocked down. There's the play across the net with Stastny coming across. It was a perfect play. Stastny tipped it in as he came across the front of the net. Big goal for Quebec.
Anton Stastny with his 5th of the playoffs. It's 3-3 on the Quebec power play, and the crowd comes to life.
And the anticipation was justified and fruitful. There's a shot by Goulet. Cleared in again right in front. Knocked away by Lane. Score time at 3. Anton Stastny. Stastny over the line. Fired it in. A big rebound. Cote knocked it to the side. Into the corner. Hunter going in. Hands it off to Goulet. To Hunter. He failed to roll it in front. Was offered again in front. It comes. And Bossy is there to start out. He has Bourne on the wing. Trottier is getting in front. There's Bourne in front. Big save by Bouchard. Bourne was in there very tight. So Bouchard stayed there. And he blocked it. There's icing against the Nordiques.
Well, Mike Bossy worked his way down on his off wing this time, Bobby, on the left side. Bouchard came up with a pretty good save, and it was all over from close range.
Well, here's Bossy threading the needle through to Bourne. Bouchard came out with that big stick, and he uses that stick so very well, and he caused Bourne to deflect that puck past the net.
12 minutes and 4 seconds, the time remaining in regulation time. Pearson over to Nystrom through his skates. Nystrom taken in on the boards by Hunter, is swept by Weir, and Cardiff propelled it down the ice. Number 18 is forechecking there. That's Marion Stastny. The Islanders come out into the center ice area. Nystrom coming up. Merrick is trying to get in front. Pass was too hard. Merrick was there on the lip of the crease in front of Bouchard. Cardiff belted rather solidly by Nystrom. Marion Stastny In over the line, gives it to Hickey, bounce it, throw it back in, shot. They bang away at it. Another shot. Wild, tragic, and feverish action. And it's held out.
With the score, the New York Islanders 3, the Quebec Nordiques 3. This is Stanley Cup 82. Well, they are singing and cheering here in the Colisée. Bobby, an awfully close call here at the goal crease.
Oh, Marion Stastny got a stick on it, fired one. Smith made the save, and then went right out to Weir, and Weir didn't get a good crank at it.
The shot there by Anton Stastny wild. Wayne Sutter is offside. He took it on the Nordic side of the center red line, and the action picking up. And the singing by the fans in Quebec is robust.
There is not a still fan in this building. They're all singing and clapping their hands. Just look at them.
I think you rather severe depression at setting in that effective period, but now they are well and very much alive. Thanks to that beautifully executed goal, which was scored by Anton Stastny to tie it at 3. Pichette shooting it toward the corner off the boards in among the spectators.
Well, the Nordiques have come out, and they have come out playing very well. In this period, they have had 7 shots to just 3 for the Islanders. So Quebec is having its best stretch of offensive hockey in the hockey game. They had only 6 shots throughout the entire second period.
Face off at the line. Slapped in by Weir. Paymont going in with Peter Stastny. And Anton, now they peel back. The Islanders cutting in on that left side. Gillies shoots. Went for the far side. Wide. Now there's a lead pass. It misses. Anton Stastny intended for Peter, and they don't miss too often.
Not too often, but I hope the folks at home noticed the play that Goring made on Pichette to allow Gillies to walk in there unmolested on that left side. He did miss the corner of the net by quite a shot, but Goring took Pichette out at the blue line, allowing Gillies a clear track into the goal.
Goring is a player. He has not got great talent, but his contribution is immense.
See, do you notice Goring right on the edge of your screen to allow Gillies to walk in there?
And what makes Goring so valuable? He's at his best in the playoffs.
Certainly is. St. Boniface boy.
Uh-huh. Now it is Hoganson. It's broken up there. Sutter and Weir go sprawling. Anton Stastny. Paymont took a shot and rolls in there, knocked to the far side. And a stick above the shoulder, I think, making contact. The referee had his arm up, but I don't think it's any penalty. It's just that infraction.
From an Islander to an Islander. Clark Gillies, I feel, Danny, playing his best game of this series tonight. Certainly have noticed him more than we did perhaps in the first 2 games down at the Island, Tuesday and Thursday. The big guy from Moose Jaw. Well, it's 3-3 here, 24 seconds short of the halfway point in the third period. Out in Vancouver, it is still the Canucks 4 and the Chicago Blackhawks 3. They, too, into the third period at the Coliseum.
Goulet, Hunter, Cloutier, Marois, and DuPont. They are the defensemen out of your picture. In over the line, looking for the puck. Morrow. It's passed back. Cloutier upended at the line. And he looks and says something to referee Wally Harris. Trottier went after Cloutier. It's cleared into the corner by Goulet. Eonson ahead. Keller hands it off. A head fake there by Brent Sutter. He tried to set up Keller in front. And the Nordiques are back on that left wing. That's Mark Tardif making moves. Good move by Tardif. Dickerson right on the rebound. And the Islanders picked it up. That was an excellent scoring opportunity for Hunter, who went in there on the rebound. Now they're in on the boards in the Nordique zone, and they get a whistle.
And a pushing and shoving match between the veteran Andre DuPont and 19-year-old Brent Sutter. The Islanders rookie, one of the many Sutters, has more are on the way.
Imagine 2 more coming.
Hockey Night in Canada will continue in just a moment.
Escort and Lynx March sales have more than doubled over February.
Well, it was Cloutier down that left side here a minute ago on a close call as Hunter moved in on the rebound. Right here, look at Hunter. Not necessarily a rebound. It was the pass, I'm sorry, on that. Hunter with the chance.
Puck kind of went loose, and Hunter walked in and picked it up. He could have got it up in the air. It might have been in.
The tempo and consequently the stature of this hockey game has been enhanced considerably in this third period. The fans have had much more to cheer about than they did in the second period, which is a bit shoddy. Now Bourne lost it. Langevin tried to get it loose, but already Marwell was on the ice and the whistle had gone. 9:20 left. And one of the Stastnys.
Well, he is the oldest of the 3 in uniform here tonight. This is his first Stanley Cup playoff year, Bobby. Peter was interviewed the other night, Dave and Peter talking, and, you know, comparing it to the World Championship. I wonder what's going through Marion's head through all of this emotion, especially that last series with Boston.
Well, the way he's playing, I'm sure he's very enthused about it, Dick.
This is his best game, Danny, would you say, in the series?
I would think so. I would think so. He's worked very, very hard. Now Trottier clearing it ahead. Bossy going in. Scores! Bossy in all alone on that right side. What a shot that man had.
He threads the needle every time he lets it go. He misses the net very, very seldom. I was watching him in warm-ups here this morning, and my, he gets that puck and blitzes it.
See, Bobby, that's the mark of a good shooter, when the goaltender has to move all the time. Bobby Hull used to do that, Danny, as you know. Look at that. Boy, oh boy.
I don't think I was ever as accurate as this
to
guy.
cut off the angle, but Bossy found the grave.
Why was there nobody over there?
Well, they got sucked in. The puck was loose here, and there were 3 or 4 jamming for it, and they pulled that left defenseman way over into this melee with the puck being loose. Looks like a magnet sometimes.
Now the Islanders again. Bossy over the line. Hit by Marwa. Trottier dropping it back. Goulet chases it. Gave it to Dupont. He lost it to Trottier over to Bossy. Back to Trottier. And now Cloutier with Goulet. Back checking. Trottier. Oh, a solid belt there by Langevin on the Quebec player. Cloutier, he's been injured. Did he get an elbow there?
Well, I couldn't see just exactly what happened. He was going for the puck when Bossy was back checking, and Langevin came across with Bossy kind of blocking my view. He may have got an elbow or a shoulder up in the jaw area.
Well, my guess is when the replay comes on, we will see that he received an elbow. And he was a sitting duck, Bobby. He was just a target for Langevin. Here it is now, just inside the blue line. Watch this. Bingo.
I would say you were absolutely right, Dick. But look at who was back checking. The guy that just fired that second goal of the game.
Now Cloutier is up and slowly making his way now over toward the Quebec players bench area, but he was corked that time by Dave Langevin.
He seems all right.
Saw Basil McRae out there while there was a delay skating around. Funny night for him. He scores the first goal of the game at 1:10 of the first period. Has played, I think, maybe once or maybe twice since. We're going to take another look at how that goal came about. The face-off. That's what Bobby mentioned, how everybody got tangled up right at the face-off circle. There's Bossy with the room, right side. It's 4-3 New York.
And 8 minutes and 18 seconds the time left in regulation time. The Islanders shooting it in. Pichette took a look, going out of his net. Rather dangerously, it looked for a couple of seconds, was Bouchard. The Islanders keep it in. Sutter's pass is gobbled up at the line of Goring. And it was ruled the puck came out over the line, but Goring does not think so, and he's arguing with Gauthier.
Live from Quebec City, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Let go by Bossy, helped very substantially to lower the singing output. Quiet here again. 4-3. Here's Sutter out in front to Gillies. Back to the line. Lane over on this side. Potvin trying to set up a pass. Now here's Pavon. Ahead to Anton Stastny. Stastny making moves, trying to get it in front. Paymont, it's in the crease. And Smith is there. Let's see, we have Paymont. Is that Big Gillies?
Who it is. Sorry, Wolfie's been in the middle of it. You talk about his parents being here tonight. Well, he had the big fight with Nystrom. Now we've got something going. Wally Weir and Dwayne Sutter. Oh, Weir trying to work a left free at close range in that one, and they seem to be a little more into it than were Gillies and Paymont. All of this coming with 7:32 remaining. Danny, I want to tell you something about working the games in Boston, as I was fortunate enough to do in that Boston-Quebec series. The organist didn't play when the play stopped. He played only when the Bruins scored.
Well, he
should get a medal from the broadcasters of the National Hockey League.
The National Hockey League should give him an award.
This is Stanley Cup Playoffs, and it's coming to you from the Colisée in Quebec City. Box, Clark Gillies and Dwayne Sutter of the Islanders, Wally Weir and Wolf Paymont of the Quebec Nordiques, all four receiving 2-minute minor penalties. And they're all for roughing. Here's how it all starts. Paymont and Gillies begin it in front of the net. And then as they were having their little set to, Weir got into it with Sutter.
I wouldn't want to get Clark Gillies too worked up.
With all this skating room out there, if you were coaching, would you have the Stastnys out? You're down a goal.
Well, they'll be out there on Tuesday night for sure, Danny, as well as tonight, the Islanders and the Nordiques here in Quebec City. Game 4. Viewers in Quebec and the Maritimes for sure will see us. For the rest of the country, check your local listing. 8 o'clock Eastern Time.
They had 4 forwards out there when they were scored on at the end of the second period. Bergeron might be somewhat hesitant.
Well, he has one Stastny out. Pichette takes a shot right on. No difficulty for Smith. Hoganson, Pichette, and Stastny. That is Peter for Quebec. Trottier with Lane and Potvin. Trottier digging around the net. Trying to center it. It's knocked off his stick. Potvin bumped Pichette. Now Peter Stastny coming up on the right side. Hoganson is cruising in. Stastny upended. And a penalty. Trottier. He was upset after he knew that he was going to go off. He shot the puck down the ice.
I think he isn't a sharp little guy, that Trottier. He tried to get away with that one. He saw that Peter Stastny was by him. Now watch what he does. He just throws himself down and hooks his feet out from under him.
Now Trottier joins his teammates, Gillies and Dwayne Sutter, in the penalty box. Al Arbor looking on from back of the bench, his team leading 4-3, 7:01 left in regulation time. There at the Colisée, game 3, the Islanders up by 2. They would dearly love to be up by 3. This is the one, Bobby, the Nordiques have got to win it. Otherwise, it's just too far to come back.
Key game, this third game, always.
If there are no further penalties, and the original 4 are out, and then the Nordiques will have an advantage for 30 seconds. Of course, the Trottier penalty has to be a delayed penalty. He is the third Islander in there. Langevin clearing it in. Here's Marois playing it behind the net. Dupont has it. And the lone forward, number 16, Goulet. He's up on the left side. The puck, however, goes to the right wing to Marois. Marois cruises to the line, trying to barge through there. Gerson headmans the puck. Fails to hit Carroll, number 25. Watch him. He's a very pesky little fellow when he's killing off penalties. He's not doing it now, but he will later. Goulet getting it back to Marois. He shovels a very delicate shot. Here is Smith. I thought he was going to go down and see if he could score another goal. He got one last year, didn't he? Or 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Now Hoganson, the veteran, up on the left side. Hits the line, winds up, waist-high shot. Hoganson showed a fairly good burst of speed there for a fellow who is getting up in years, and more importantly, he's ailing. Now it's Hunter. Hunter coming in over the line with Pichette. And they misfire on that. Hoganson has it. 3 seconds time, and then Nordiques will have the advantage. Now they have the advantage. Over it goes. Here's Hunter. Getting it right across the
We've got a tie hockey game at 4-4. Bobby, I found myself thinking that Hunter should have shot the puck, but obviously he knew what he was doing in this one.
15,000 and some odd people thought he should have shot it. Watch it here. Here's Stastny carrying it in. Perfect pass over to Hunter. I think I'd have been shooting it. He hung on and put it back to Will Paymont cruising into the slot. A great, great play by Dale
The
Hunt.
defenseman down in front of him. You kind of watch for him to sort of walk around. Morrow is down on the ice. Look at that move Hunter would have had. Instead of that, the Paymont right through the legs of Billy Smith. It's a tie hockey game. 14-39, another power play goal for Quebec.
5 minutes and 21 seconds, the time left in regulation time. And Bobby Hall, this is an enormously resourceful hockey team, this Quebec team. When you think you've got them, back they come at you.
Oh, they've got so much scoring offensive power, you just can't give them a chance.
Now Bossy is chased in there by Paymont. And the acquisition of Paymont has paid handsome dividends to this Quebec team. Now a back pass over on the other side. There's a shot, a sharp angle shot by Trottier. Knocked down on that Morrow shot in front. Paymont clearing it ahead, going after it again. He and Janssen to the far side, and Janssen shoots it in. Marois cleared it rather coolly out over the line. Trottier took a belt from Paymont and went to the ice, and that got a very happy reaction from the crowd. Here's Nystrom playing at the center, intercepted by Miriam Stastny, going in with Anton. Miriam Stastny, a backhand shot went off the stick, Langevin's stick, and went behind the net. Now the Islanders into that center ice area with Tonelli. Tonelli getting set, makes a move on the left side. Merrick is around the net. Nystrom in front at the Nordiques with Hoganson taking it out of the area that was dangerous. It's cleared into the center ice area. Peter Stastny to Marion. In over the line. Anton is getting in front. A leg save on what was a pass. Here come the Islanders. Merrick swings over on this side. His pass missed Tonelli. The tempo picking up. Action from end to end. It's centered. Gobbled up in front by Weir. Weir ahead to Bichette. Stastny, Marion finally got it. Didn't get it the first time. It was intercepted by Nystrom. A lead pass for Tonelli, and it is offside. And overtime looms large on the hockey horizon. 3:27 left.
You're right, Danny. It's the best stretch of two-way action we've had in the hockey game tonight. Fans responding. The Paymont goal on the power play from Hunter and Anton Stastny, tying it at 4-4 and 14:39. And there you see the time remaining in regulation time here at the Colisée in Quebec City.
That area that you're looking at now is just inside the New York line. Gillies against Paymont. Marois rolls it toward the corner. 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in regulation time. Some fencing down there by Hunter and Lane. Here's Dwayne Hunter. Good body check by Marois on Gillies. Puck is loose in front. At the line, it's stopped by Gillies' shot. Bobby, that was an excellent body check by Marois on Gillies.
He really laid it to him, and it was a good, clean check.
And, of course, he stopped him from cutting it on that left side. Here's Hunter. Hunter getting it over, but the Paymont, a backhand shot. Stopped on the short side with Smith going down. Paymont tried to finesse it. Now in behind the net. It's centered right out in front again to Hunter. And the Islanders were on the ropes right here, and they cleared it into the center ice area. Now Weir plays it to the far side, going after puck, then score tied at 4. Bossy getting it out. Trottier couldn't pick it up. It's off the boards finally from Hoganson. Here's Bourne over on the other side. Bossy on his wrong wing, and he can shoot him from anywhere. Here's Bourne. Laying it in there, roaming in there is Bossy. Bouchard Giving it for Hoganson. He's rammed out of the play. Coming in front of Bossy, knocked away. Here's Trottier. Now the Islanders have the Nordiques sort of hanging on.
1:53 left in regulation time. Bobby, is there anybody in hockey today gets a shot away like Mike Bossy? Boy, was that vintage Bossy here a minute ago from the left wing boards on the turnaround.
Well, Anders Hedberg could handle that puck at high speeds and get it away quickly. I don't think that Anders could fire it quite as hard as what Mike can, but this is Bossy. He can fire. He's dangerous from anywhere. On his off wing, he comes out of that corner, and he's looking out into the center of the ice for someone to pass it to, and he'll fire it quickly without the goaltender even knowing it.
And the Stingers are back in good voice once again. Now they settle down because this is a very, very important face-off. 1:53 left, face-off in deep Quebec territory. 4-4 the score, back to Morrow, off the leg. Ford has it over to Bossy. He was checked in front. Couldn't get a good shot away. That was Payman who was doing the checking there. Down the ice, and it is icing.
Oh, boy, Wilf Payman. You talk about a defensive play that might have been a game-saver on Mike Bossy. There's Morrow, who was down on the ice and the victim, if you will, of that last Quebec goal by Payman. There you see it, 1:40, regulation time. That's all we've got.
One of Herb Brooks' protégés in that 1980
Yep, that's right.
gold medal team, U.S. team.
He's done a pretty good role. Gold medal and then 2 Stanley Cups. That's what it's like to lose a big one when you play it, the last one you play.
At 1:40, the time left. Trottier centering. Hunter got the draw. Bouchard assisting his team, getting it to Cote, who had it knocked away. It comes to the side of the net off the stick of Trottier. And they'll face off again. I'm sure that the Nordiques would like to lug that puck out into the center ice area. Very dangerous getting these face-offs here.
Oh, it is. And they lost that face-off the play before that with Hickey taking the draw against Trottier. They put Hunter out there for the next goal, and here's Hunter again against Trottier. Very important face-off.
Langevin and Pearson out of your picture. Where is it? They fight for it. Bossy getting it back to Pearson. A shot! That may have been partially screened. Bouchard very sharp. Now they are becoming a bit fractious, and of course it's understandable, even though you may not condone it, the pressure on them at 1:24 to go in regulation time.
Yeah, Hunter and Trottier involved. Bouchard with the save on the shot coming in from the point. Now here we got a good look at the face-off situation. They took each other out on the play. They were kicking at the puck. Bossy gets it back on the point to Pearson, and the stop made by Daniel Bouchard. Payman's playing an excellent third period for Quebec, and so is Mario Marois. He's made a big difference in their defense tonight. Marois and Dupont out there now, both of them, Bobby, injured and not playing the other night in New York, Thursday.
Marois, I heard him say that he hadn't skated in 5 days. His conditioning lacks a little, but if they can get through this game and on into the series, that little bit of rest will do him a great deal of good.
Now it is Hunter again against Trottier. And the youngster and a fellow who is now getting into that veteran category. Number 19, Trottier. He's out of there, bored. When do you become a veteran? When do you hit your prime in hockey?
Oh, I say around 28 years old. Some, they're at it at 18.
Right in front, there's a shot. Where is it? The Bouchard! Oh, how close that was. He actually looked behind him.
Bob Bourne with the shot. Trottier, Bobby, is really hammering people out there right now.
He started at the beginning of the game.
Well, the Islanders control it again off the face-off. Bourne was on the draw. Now look at this. Bourne with room, the shot, the stop by Bouchard. Tremendous save, and he grabbed it as it dropped in behind him. 1:18 remaining, regulation time.
Timeout, is there? Okay, I'm going to take a timeout. Go ahead, Bobby.
I think New York is calling.
We mentioned there a while ago, Bobby, that the Islanders seem to be on the ropes. The phrase Danny used, and indeed they were. The Nordiques had a good offensive going, but right here, it's been all inside the Quebec blue line for about the last minute. But you notice it was the Trottier, Bourne, Bossy line. Who called the timeout here? Was it New York or
I believe it was New York.
See, Arbor wants to give them. This is just like another, a shift on the bench for those guys. He's going to keep them out there, I'm sure.
He wants his best 5 players out on the ice to finish this period. Al Arbor is no one's fool, and that's just exactly how you get it done. I've said it before, I think you should start the game with your 5 best, finish the period with your 5 best, have them out there in every situation that you could cause vulnerability.
Well, there they come, Trottier, Bourne, and Bossy. And Quebec countering with Hunter at the center ice, Cote, and Wolf Paymont.
This line has really come alive. They played very well for Quebec tonight.
Well, we had a relatively entertaining first period, a good first period, a dull second period. This has been a good third period. The prospect of overtime. And there's always drama and excitement and thrills attendant to overtime. But we still have 1 minute and 18 seconds remaining now. Bouchard out of the net. Gets it up on this side for a Hunter. He's not going to be able to get it out. It's cleared back in there. DuPont. DuPont to the line. Off Cote's stick. The Islanders pounce on it again. Now we have exactly 1 minute left in regulation time. Bouchard ahead to Cote. It's picked up finally by Hunter. Paymont was going in to get a pass. You notice back there, Paymont really upended Bourne with a lot of authority, a long shot from outside the line. Now here's Potvin, 38 seconds to go. He clears it in there. Bouchard lays it up on the boards. Merrick is going to get it into the corner. It goes to Tonelli. He's upended. Good check there by Cote. Marwa ahead to Peter Stastny with Anton. Back to Anton. He fakes the shot. He centers it. It was behind his brother and Goulet. Here's Goulet working off the boards, trying to get in front. Back it comes to Stastny Anton. At the line is shot by Hoganson. And Smith had that taped all the way. Potvin down on the ice along with Peter Stastny. 1 second. I guess you wouldn't have to be a gambling man to say that this is going to be overtime.
I would say we're heading for it, Danny.
Well, game 3 between the Bruins and the Nordiques went into overtime. Wolf Paymont winning it for Quebec. And that one stretched out to the full 7 with the Nordiques winning it. Here we go again, it looks like.
Is it physically possible to score here?
I don't see how it could be, Danny. Second goes by pretty quickly, and they'd have to rifle that puck right from the drop of it. If the guy was a little lethargic in starting the clock, it could happen.
It's happened.
Now it is overtime. Okay, Dick.
Well, as the siren sounds to end regulation time, we have got Bob Nystrom. Uh-oh, look out. The benches here now, with the siren having gone, are cleared of players, with the exception of the goaltenders. And the regular goaltenders, the spare goaltenders are out there. Let's hope that this doesn't develop into that outbreak. That in back there. Is that Wolf Paymont that they're hanging on
You
to?
know where he was, Dick? He was almost in the dressing room. He dropped his stick over there, ran out.
Oh.
Now he is down there. I don't know if he's into the fray as it is at the present time. There's no fighting to speak of, but let's hope it does not develop into an ugly situation. We do not need that.
I wouldn't doubt that that was Dale Hunter in the midst of that. Aubrey was really the one that began it all, and then Potvin Denny came from behind him and gave him a shot.
Come on, boys. Come on, boys.
There's McRae. He wants to get in on it.
You know what they should do? Bring out the ice cleaning machine right here. They
There's
really
the
should.
idea.
The guy should just start going along by the boards and get, you know, be interesting to see who'd move first. 36 hockey players or the machine. Well, there's referee Wally Harris in the middle of it. There's Basil McRae, who started this game way back almost 3 hours ago with a goal at the 1:10 mark of the first period. has hardly been on the ice since.
I'd like...
The clock hasn't started. It's at 10 minutes. Overtime intermissions are 10 minutes. The league rule for regular intermission time is 15 minutes from siren to face-off. In overtime play, it's 10. So the clock here has not started ticking down. And the scene that you are looking at continues. For what reasons, we are really not sure. Down in the area to our right. And now it would appear that peace has been restored, and they will head to where they should have been heading for about 3 minutes ago. Whether we'll get penalties as a result of this, we'll have to wait and see when the overtime begins. Shots on goal through the 3 periods. The Nordiques 30 and the Islanders 29. It's a tie hockey game, 4-4. We're heading into overtime. This is Stanley Cup 82 from Quebec City.
So there you see the score, 4-4. Teams are on the ice. Overtime is imminent, and I think, Dick, it can be said with justification that these wonderful hockey fans in Quebec owe an inestimable debt of gratitude to these Nordiques, the way they fight back and the entertainment they've been able to get for their money. You've seen all of their playoff games, 15 of them. Tell us how you feel about it.
Well, Danny, hockey people just shake their heads because this team just keeps going. This team just keeps surprising. In overtime this year, they have been in 3 overtime games, winning 2, 1 against Montreal, 1 against Boston, losing 1 to the Bruins. For their part, the Islanders have been in 2, 1 against Pittsburgh, 1 against the Rangers, and they have won both. So here we are with the sudden death overtime. Ready to go. 4-4 the score. No penalties called as a result of that minor hassle at the end of regulation time. Okay, Danny.
Okay, Dupont ahead to Cote. Cote faked the shot, cleared it in on the left side. There's Hunter going in along the boards against Langevin, and he gets the whistle and the face-off. Face-off at every opportunity that you can get in the other fellow's area of the ice is all important.
Well, Cote seeing more action tonight than in any other game, certainly through the last few that the Nordiques have played in the playoffs.
And there you see number 27. He has to be one of the stars tonight, if not the star, regardless of what happens. Now Persson clears it to the far side. Bourne is bumped there by Pema. Trottier in behind the net. Forechecking. The Nordiques with great determination along the boards it goes. Trottier couldn't clear it out the first time. Now it came out over the line. Shot back in there and a long shot by Cote. Langevin with Paymon hanging all over him. Now into the center ice area for the Islanders. Persson is in over the line. Into the center ice area. They don't get very far. They stay with it. However, the Islanders start out bumping Bossy and Cote. Long pass over on the other side. Marwa ahead to Peter Sasny. He dropped it back. Cleared in there. Goring knocked it into the center ice area. Goring rolling it ahead. There's Hoganson very coolly clearing it to the line. Goring knocked it back in there. Peter Stasny trying to get it. He poked it to center. Here come the Nordiques. They hit the line. Over the line. Anton Stasny to the other side. But the Islanders are going to get it into the center ice area with Goring. Chopping it to the corner. Here's Gillies. Gillies around the net. He's hitting it right in front. And a glorious scoring opportunity for Dwayne Sutter. He had the open side of the net, but he deflected it wide. Pichette around the net, out on the wing to the Nordiques line. Long pass to center, picked up at the line. And it's called on the offside.
Well, the Vancouver Canucks have beaten the Chicago Blackhawks 4-3. They lead that series 2-1. The Nordiques, Anton Stasny and company, would dearly love to have this particular series, the Wales Conference Final, in a 2-1 situation when this overtime period is over.
Bobby has arrived back from downstairs. Comment on the overtime.
He hasn't seen it. He's
they like catch my breath.
No, I want a projection. Not a prediction.
A projection?
Yes. Who's going to be taking the initiative for the most part?
Well, I believe they will take advantage, of course, of any breaks they get, but I don't think they're going to force the issue, either team.
play it rather cautiously.
I would say so. I don't think they should open up either team. They don't have to.
Now the Islanders in over the line, swinging to the right side, Janssen. Janssen keeping it in there. Here's Merrick winding up for the shot. And it went around the net. Back into the Islanders zone. Janssen to Morrow. Morrow playing it to Nystrom, poked away by Weir. Janssen gathering speed on the left side. In over the line, Marwal. And he shoots it down the ice. And that attests to your statement about being cautious at times. There's Morrow ahead. The Islanders breaking on. Merrick coming in with Tonelli over to Tonelli. And he couldn't pick up the pass. He was being checked by Goulet. Here are the Islanders into the corner. Back it goes and stopped by Nystrom after taking the Tonelli pass. There's Tonelli. That's not there, and Nystrom had an outstanding chance. The Nordiques down in over the line. Hickey to the other side. Laying it back in. Merrick gives it to Tonelli. Nordiques are making changes while the play goes on, and Nystrom shovels it into the corner, and that is the signal for the Islanders to make changes. Meantime, the Nordiques, four of them coming out, a pass to center on the left side. Photo gets back. There's the shot. 2 seconds on the net. Cloutier rifled that one right on. Down the ice it goes. Bouchard came to the knee, and it's finally called on the icing infraction.
Billy Smith off Cloutier here. Prior to that, a remarkable chance for Bob Nystrom, who makes a habit of scoring game-winning goals in overtime in the playoffs. So we've had chances now at both ends. Smith with that left arm up with Cloutier getting some room here, Bobby. Just wound up and let fly with the slapper on the drop pass right here.
Nice play back to Cloutier. He got the puck up in the air where Smith could see it. Down at the other end, it was Tonelli who dug that puck out for Nystrom.
3 minutes and 26 seconds have gone by in the first overtime period. They hold it in the corner area for another face-off to the right of Billy Smith.
Mike Bossy with playing with a knee brace. I don't think he wants anyone to know it, and I don't really know it for sure, but he's bothered. That left knee of his.
There's Bossy going after it. Marwal got it back out over the line. DuPont to Hunter on the left side. Cote delicately dumped it into the corner. Langevin playing it off the boards. Down the ice it goes. Bouchard returns it to the other end. And with Langevin picking it up, he gets it out to the line. Trottier with Bossy and Bourne. In on the left wing boards. Bossy knocked his man down. DuPont. Puck at center and stopped. Potvin cleared it in. Here's Hoganson spinning around. Gives it to Cloutier. Broken up by Potvin. Now Hoganson rolled it in on the left side again. And the Nordiques are making changes while the play goes on. And there is Lane coming to center. Shooting it high. And it's over the glass to the right of Bouchard.
Correction on my stats on the Islanders, having been in 2 overtime games this year. Make it 3. They lost one to Pittsburgh. Rick Kehoe scored the winning goal against them in a 2-1 game in Pittsburgh. Mentioning Bob Nystrom as well. He has 4 overtime goals, Danny. Only one player in hockey history has more. Need I say more to you?
I think he wore number 9 for
I think so.
and at the end.
Left-hand shot played right wing.
And he had 2 in 1 year in consecutive games against Detroit. The year that the Canadians knocked out Detroit, when I think Detroit finished, about 30 points ahead of Montreal.
Talking about rocket for sharp.
Now here's Dwayne Sutter scoping it in there. The Nordiques on the left side. Good move there by Anton Stastny. However, he then neutralized that move by giving it away to Lane. Lane playing it in on the right side. Pichette looked over his left shoulder, cleared it to the other side, and the whistle in a delayed fashion sounded for the offside.
Yeah, Dave Bichette scored the winning goal against the Bruins last Sunday night in Boston in regulation time. Bobby, you were quite right. Oftentimes in this day and age in overtime, the teams take it to each other. They try to get it over with early. It's a little bit cautious through the first 4:58 of this one.
Maybe each club thinks the other club is going to bring it to them, and they're at a stalemate.
That was an icing, not an offside, with the result that the face-off is to the right of Billy Smith. Here's Hoganson failing to keep it in. Sutter, Dwayne, coming down in over the line, fades to the right side. But DuPont, with that great experience, stayed right with him. He played the man and not the puck. Here's Gillies clearing it back in there. Peter Stastny to Marion. Working his way out. Anton is up ahead. Good stick handling there by Marion. In over the line. It's knocked away from him. Lane ahead to Dwayne Sutter. Sutter takes a lob shot. Bouchard to Marois. 5 minutes and 35 seconds have gone by in the first overtime. Marion Stastny takes a shot from the angle, which was very severe. And the Islanders with Merrick, who has a fair amount of speed. Merrick coming in around the net. Calling for it is Johnson. Johnson has it, shoots it in there. A deflection by Nystrom was wide, and then Tonelli shot it around the net. Here's Merrick in front of Tonelli, and I think that was deflected by the defenseman just in time to keep it away from Nystrom. Nystrom, however, now has it on the right side, coming in with Merrick again. Tonelli trying to get in front. Marois to the other side. Nordiques clear it into the center ice area. Aubry shooting it in. The speedster Goulet, 16, comes from the other side. However, the Islanders, they're in possession with Merrick. Merrick clearing it ahead to the line to Tonelli to Nystrom. The shot. And it went off Weir's stick over the net and over the glass.
The Nordiques have had 3 shots in this overtime period. The Islanders have had 2. As we look at the Islanders on the change, heading to their bench with 6:40 gone here in this first overtime period. A 4-4 tie through regulation time. Mike Bossy with 2 goals for the Islanders. He has 4 in the last 2 games involving these teams. Keller and Bob Bourne, the other scorers for New York. And for Quebec, McRae, Peter Stastny, Anton Stastny, and Wolf Payman.
Gerson ahead. Trottier got it to the left side. Keller was roughed up in the corner area. Now the Nordiques. Cote missed that pass from DuPont. It's returned down the ice by the Islanders. Marois back there, and it is icing against the Islanders. Exactly 7 minutes having been played in the first overtime.
A long night for everybody out there on the ice, but especially for this fella who, as we have mentioned before, is playing hurt. Notice that he had Keller out there, Bobby, with Trottier and Bossy to begin this shift. Now, with the whistle having been blown, he has replaced him with Bob Bourne on the left side.
That's the lineup he's been going with mostly tonight.
DuPont on the left point. Marois on the other side. Hunter will try to draw it back, facing off against Trottier. The Islanders in possession. Bossy takes a look. He misses his man Trottier. It goes down the ice. There'll be no icing on this. DuPont starting out. The Islanders peel back. The Nordiques at center, in over the line. Here's Cote. It's off the stick, comes to center. Bossy coming down with Trottier. Bossy over the line. It's off his stick to the other side. Bourne is taken care of by Cloutier. Quebec back in over the line. There it is, shot through the corner area. Cote backhands it. Hunter takes a look. Cloutier right in front. It's back at the line. There's a shot. And it overtakes another scramble. A wild pileup. And Harris frantically signaling that puck did not go over the goal line.
It didn't go.
It's on the mesh.
The wrong side of the mesh as far as the Nordiques are concerned. Bobby, good play by Dave Bichette at the line to keep the puck in right here.
There it is. He keeps that puck in and then fires the puck right on the goal. There's Cloutier standing right in front. That's Hunter in front, and that's Cloutier falling while he was falling. Got a backhand whack at it and hit the side of the net.
Close call, but the puck on the wrong side. Billy Smith hanging on for dear life in the goal crease. 4-4 is the score. The Nordiques and the Islanders are in overtime.
Quebec getting caught changing their defensemen with New York breaking out time or two.
Yeah, they were lucky there in that last Islanders rush. They were almost caught with nobody back there on a bad line change.
They better be ready to be strong in their own end when New York fires that in there.
Goring sweeps a pass to the right side. Wayne Sutter couldn't get it. Hoganson clearing it. And it went to the Islanders' bench, just the center ice area.
This is the second year that the Nordiques have been in the Stanley Cup playoffs. This is the 5th time the team has been in overtime. They have won 3 and lost 1 in the previous 4. You want to go all the way back to the Islanders' history. They have been in overtime 22 times, winning 17 and losing 5.
And the shots on goal for the overall total, we record that Quebec has 34 and New York 31. That is Gillies out there with Goring and Dwayne Sutter. Anton Stastny plays it on the left side. It's cleared down by Peter Stastny. The other forward is Paymont. Now Sutter coming in, takes the shot. Bouchard very coolly looked after it. Nordiques at center. There's a pass ahead. Rolls to the line. Lane knocked it out. Paymont on the board. His pass is intercepted by Sutter, who was bumped by Hoganson. Stastny Peter over the line. Pichette wraps that one off the leg of Lane. Nystrom plays it back on the right side. Lane coming out with Merrick. Cutting through center is Gillies. Lane pulls it in over the line and goes. Straddling the line was Nystrom, and I think some of the fans thought he was offside, but he wasn't. Now into the center ice area. Peter Stastny couldn't make contact, and it is icing against Quebec.
So a few close calls, several icings through the first 9 minutes and 3 seconds of this overtime period here in the Colisée in Quebec City. Thomas Johnson, the newcomer to the NHL this season, obviously a newcomer to Stanley Cup overtime play. There's Dan Bouchard. Boy, he plays it so casually, Bobby. You and I talked about that during the Montreal series. Nordique fans must have heart failure the odd time, the way he nonchalants things at times.
What was your most thrilling overtime, Bobby?
I believe I'll have to go back to when we beat Montreal in the 3rd overtime period when Murray Balfour scored the original goal, and then it was tied up by Henry Richard late in the game with less than a minute to go, and then he scored in the 3rd overtime.
Nystrom takes the shot. It's grabbed. Now that looked like a sensational play, but I think that shot would have been off the net.
I think it was over top of the net. We went on to win the Stanley Cup that year. That was in '61. We beat Detroit in the finals.
Well, the importance of face-off, the Islanders win that one. Nystrom cradled it with the hand, back of the net. Look, you're right, Danny. Would have been off the net.
Captain DuPont. Merrick is forechecking. DuPont. Oh, that was very, very dangerous. Nystrom almost knocked it down, got it in front. He would have been able to go in there. Now Merrick in there, and he fires it along the boards to the other side. The rugged right winger Nystrom plays it behind. Marwah clears it to the line. Johnsson is shot. And now the Islanders are pressing. Back to Johnsson again. He winds up. It's off the leg. Goulet chasing it down on the left side. Being assisted by Marion Stastny. Quebec caught there making changes. Bouchard shoots it down into New York territory, and it is icing against Quebec.
Not surprised that Dan Bouchard would do that. And Danny, you mentioned caught making changes. The Nordiques have not been sharp, Bobby, changing lines here in the overtime. That's about the 3rd time that there seems to have been a lot of room down there as the players leave and the others are coming on.
I think the Soviet Union has a great method of changing players. They'll get a hold of the puck and they'll start up the ice, and knowing they need a change, then the defenseman will swing and go back while the line changes.
Now Pearson a shot. It was blocked there by Cloutier. Pichette against Bourne. Nordiques in over the line, struggling to get free. Cloutier. Cloutier knocked it out. Now from center, Quebec shooting it back in there. Langevin to Pearson to the other side. Trottier with Bourne and Bossy, the three of them at center. They shoot it in. Coming from the right side. Bossy against Cote. Hoganson playing it on the left wing. No icing on that. And Langevin is back there. 9 minutes and 22 seconds left in the first overtime period, and the Islanders, Trottier missed it. It's picked up delicately there by Stastny. That's Peter Stastny came on the right side. Peter Stastny trying to get in there. Stastny shoots. Oh! What a glorious opportunity. Now Nordiques again. Anton Stastny trying to center it. Peter Stastny in the open side. Oh, rips the shot wide. Pressure by the Nordiques. Here's Dupont getting it in to Anton Stastny. Scoring with Anton Stastny tying him up. It's loose. Off the boards to the other side. Marwah can't get it, and Gilly shoots it down the ice. Icing.
Well, I tell you, that was an opportunity, all right, Danny, but one that Peter Stastny made all by himself. What a super play he made. And he rolled it just wide of the goalpost on Billy Smith.
Well, he really turned the Jets on when he came up slowly, then turned it on and went to his left.
There it is right here.
He didn't really have room to put it in unless he could have chipped it up over top of Smith, lobbed it down in behind him.
But it was an exciting play.
It certainly was.
Especially when it comes in overtime.
More exciting in speed up time rather than slow motion.
Did you find a lot of pressure in overtime?
No, not really. I think the main pressure was late in the game when you tried to either score that go-ahead or prevent it. Overtime, I think most of the pressure, you were so tired that there wasn't a lot of pressure there.
Now it's back. It's set over the line. Nystrom going after Hoganson, who cleared it to the left side. Goulet shooting it in. Peter Stastny and Marion still on. Merrick rolled it across the line. Scored tied at 4 in overtime. Hoganson coming down in over the line. Shooting it in. Peter Stastny goes to the board, trying to come up with it. Now Marion Stastny to the other side. Potvin jammed out of the play. The Islanders with Merrick over on this side to Nystrom. Nystrom turning, backhands it in there. Tonelli goes in. His centering pass hit the side of the net. Goulet into center on the far side. He has a winger. There's the shot. Marion Stastny was coming in from that right side hoping for a rebound, but there wasn't one. In over the line, Nystrom shooting it. Big rebound. Dupont cleared it. Here's Tonelli around the net. And he lost it. Marwah dumping it into the center ice area. No more deep could get it. Here's Johnson over the line. That changed direction. It ricocheted off the leg of this guy who has the puck now, Marwah. A delicate pass to center. Over on this side it comes. Here's Hunter going in. Hunter firing it off the defenseman over the glass.
Dale Hunter has 2 overtime goals to his credit. One last year against the Philadelphia Flyers. The series winner this year against Montreal. That time his shot deflected up over the glass into the crowd. Bobby Bouchard's giving up some rebounds in this overtime. There's been 3 of them by my count, and we're going to see it here. Nystrom let one go. And he makes the kick save, but that big rebound goes right out there. Maybe he didn't have much of a chance that time, but a couple of the others I've been surprised that he just let the puck get away from him.
Again, that time up the ice, Nordiques changing forwards. 2 of them were caught out of the play when New York went into the Quebec zone.
Marion Stastny made the mistake. He turned right at center ice with the puck in Islanders' possession, headed right to the bench.
Cloutier, Hickey, and Goulet for Quebec. Trottier with Brent Sutter this time over on the right side. Keller is the other winger. Outside the line, they hold it, getting a face-off.
Now, fellas talking about the pressure and players like Pat Hickey as we look at him and others, but how about the pressure of the men in the striped shirts? The referees. It's always a dicey time in overtime for them.
Yes, but, you know, we said it quite often. they are right most of the time. You know, they get a lot of flack, but they do a pretty good job. You wouldn't say it when you were a player, but Bobby Hull, you might say it now.
I say they're right all.
Announcement to make.
Are you going to
right
become
or
a referee now?
Right or
wrong. The Islanders on the right side. Sutter is forced out. And we get a face-off.
Danny, if not right, awfully official.
Well, there is Brent Sutter. He's getting a pretty good taste of Stanley Cup play this season. Joining the Islanders as the season came along, 43 points in 44 games. We are in overtime here. And a reminder that Tuesday night, Game 4 here in Quebec, 8 o'clock Eastern Time.
Morrow rolled it ahead. Hoganson having all kinds of difficulty initially, and then got it out over the line. Janssen to Morrow into the center ice area to Brent Sutter. He has Carroll on there with him. That's a new combination. Caller is on the wing. There's Carroll going in there. He succeeded in shooting it to the corner. Now behind the net is Buck. He sent it away down in front. Morrow backhand shot. And the puck is cleared to the far right wing. Quebec picking it up at center. Cote over to Hickey. Couldn't get a good shot away. The Islanders on the right side. This could be a dangerous rush. Here's Bossy. Bossy taken in on the board by Dupont. Nordiques. A pass that's knocked down but not received by Cloutier. Pearson up on the left side. Warren trying to get through there. And the gentleman that Dick talked about because of his steady play throughout the game, Marwan made that play. Here's Pavon charging in there. Smith clearing it to Trottier. Trottier beats the pass up on the left side to Bourne. Bourne knocked off balance, keeps going. Gives it to Langevin. He was knocked out of the play effectively by Marwan. Bourne getting up very, very slowly. I don't know if it's because of an injury or exhaustion. Now Trottier was knocked to the ice by Hunter. Puck shot back in there. Dwayne Sutter taken out of the play. Nordiques coming out. Marwa rolling it in on end. Nordiques had made changes. Now it's Sutter over on the other side to Gillies. Back to Sutter. Backhand shot, big rebound. And it was cleared by Hoganson. Now here's Sutter again trying to center and rolls into the crease. And a nervous moment there for this capacity crowd, and particularly for Mr. Bouchard.
Well, that time he made sure there was not a rebound. Bourne was shaken up, Danny. There's no doubt about it. I think exhaustion really was the bottom line, but he had to sidestep one there. Then he's sort of pushed into Alain Cote by Will Paymont on the play. That's when he lay on the ice for a while. Got his breath back and headed to the bench.
I see him sitting on the end of the bench with his head down. Trainer was working at him. Now he's up a little. He's hurting a little bit in the upper part of his body.
Now they played through 15 minutes and 20 seconds of this first overtime period. It's a 4-4 tie.
They're very fortunate the next game is not until Tuesday. Islanders, it goes to Lane. Lane takes a shot and rolls off the leg of Pichette. Goring was trying to get it. Here is Gillies. Gillies shooting it in there. Knocked down and trickled to the side by Goring. Here comes the Nordiques into the center ice area. Long left wing pass intended for Peter Stastny, went off Lane, sticking him on the spectators.
Police Court Lane has a goal all year. He didn't get one in regular season play, and I don't think he has one in the playoffs. He came awfully close right there to an overtime goal. Stastny's out together as a threesome, and that hasn't happened that often tonight. Bergeron has been using Paymont or Cote along with them.
You know why at times he breaks up the three Stastnys? For this reason. He thinks at times that Peter has an opportunity to shoot the score, but he's trying to set up a brother.
Also, maybe he feels that he needs a little more.
Well, there's no greater love than love for a brother, is there? That's a nice thing.
Brother Dennis found that out last night when we roasted him.
And vice versa.
He had the last laugh, though. He had the mic last. No, I think they break them up sometimes with for defensive reasons, maybe more than anything.
Alger Arbour.
The Kingfish. Played with him in Chicago.
Right. Stanley Cup team in 61. He was on that team, right?
Played on a couple others with Detroit and St. Louis. So, well, he didn't. St. Louis never won it, but
played in Toronto.
Yes.
So, a big face-off again. Tie game, 4-4, 4:10 left in the first overtime. Back at the line. Marwa. Couture, and he ripped it off Potvin. Potvin couldn't get anywhere. Now Troisième. And he shoots it down the ice. Striding back there like a youngster was DuPont, and it is Isaac.
Peter Stastny did a job on Troisième on that face-off. He won that one clean as a whistle. There's Michel Bergeron. Back of the net, of the bench rather, as he makes a change now. Boy, but that face-off, these face-offs are so important, and for the moment here anyway, the Islanders, Danny, set back a little bit and have been icing the puck.
You know, Potvin hasn't been that conspicuous tonight, except in penalties. He's going to the bench. We haven't seen these patented Potvinian moves, even on the power play.
Dennis is steady, but he hasn't done anything really outstanding. You're right.
But remember him last year in the playoffs.
Yes.
Especially in that series against the Oilers. He was the catalyst on every power play. There's a pass to the line. Goes down the ice. Dick, you notice how much ice time Hoganson was getting and how well he's playing. For a fella coming off an injury. Puck goes to center. Tonelli in on the right side for Nystrom. Clearing it in front. There's Hoganson. And he came up with a big play there.
Well, Arbor's giving Janssen a lot of work in this overtime, but he's gone pretty well with 6 defensemen through the hockey game as Luce heads to the bench, and the team's changed quickly, although I don't know if Bergeron is going to make a change right here. He doesn't seem to want to. Luce goes to the bench. He asked to be relieved, so now there is a belated slow change coming off the bench for Quebec. 3:20 left in the first overtime period here at the Colisée in Quebec City. A 4-4 tie. It's 2-2 the end of the first period. 3-2 for New York, end of the second. And then 4-4, end of regulation.
And there you see a fellow 23 who has a penchant for overtime goals. There he is, shooting it. Nystrom, escape save. There's another shot from the shot. A wild scramble. They score! Merrick! Nystrom missed it, and Merrick put it into the open net. And it came with 3 minutes and 8 seconds left in the first overtime period. And the New York Islanders have won their 3rd consecutive game in this best-in-7 series.
Bobby, the rebound. It just got away from Bouchard and the defense. Bouchard down, never able to recover. And Wayne Merrick scores at 16:52 of the first overtime period. And as Danny says, the Islanders have a stranglehold on this series. 3 victories to 0 as they leave the ice triumphantly. All right, here comes Potvin from the left side. Now watch it get away from Bouchard right here. He scoops it right out in front. And Bouchard never recovered. You see, he's down. Nystrom had the chance. Merrick off to the side of the net. Bouchard got himself in trouble and never recovered from it. Here it is again. Players falling in front of the net. Bichette going down. Look at the chance that Nystrom was that close to overtime career goal number 5. But he missed the net. Merrick was there. No problem as he stuffed it home. Bouchard still down, and there he finally starts to get up.
Dick, we'll ask Bobby. This has to be demoralizing for Quebec. Will they be able to come back?
Well,
nobody knows.
They've got a lot of heart and a lot of courage. I don't think they'll give up. I think they'll go down fighting if they do go down.
All right, so it's all over here tonight, and so the final score, the New York Islanders 5 and the Quebec Nordiques 4.